This video is being shown to you under Section 107 of the Copyright Act of 1976. Allowances is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, education, and research. Fair use is permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Smash that like button. Let's go. What's up? What's up? What's up? It is your girl Survivor Speaks, and I'm back with a live video. And this is a live that was not scheduled. So bear with me because we have some things going on today. It's your favorite breast cancer survivor, Survivor Speaks, up in the building. And I didn't schedule this live because I scheduled one for later, but we do have the star witness from the Diddy trial taking a stand today, Brendan Paul. So we're going to go over, bring over the, going to bring over the what do you call that the live feed, and we'll probably be bouncing back between two different live feeds, because it seems that one sometimes one lags behind the other when it comes to the update for some reason. But today should be a pretty fire day. Brendan Paul, who's turned out to be the star witness in this case, is taking the stand. All right. Just let me just get to share this out. All right. Give me one moment, and then we're going to go right on over. We're going to bring it over. Give me one moment. Let me just pull up something. Let me just put this on. Give me one moment. Let me put this on up over. Can't think straight. Gosh. All right, there we go. Let me put this over here on the Instagram, just in case anybody is over there and they want to come and join us in this chat. They can. We do have the information on Tyler Perry. As you all well may know, I have an ongoing family emergency going on, and this is the reason why. Sometimes I can't post in advance. I have to see how the day is going. And today was a day where I'm able to go live, and it just so happens to be one of the biggest days in this Diddy trial, right? Um, all right. So, give me one moment. We're gonna get right into it. I do have the documents, and I'm gonna do a different live for that. I may change the later live if I can go live, on the Tyler Perry lawsuit. Um, that that is that's a lot, and that is a lot. That's a lot. That is a lot. Um, you know when things happen, sometimes we just have to wait to see the outcome. I mean, it's not favorable to any of us, but not for us to, it is just so much going on. And this is why I say you have to be responsible with everything that you have going on. You have to be responsible with it, because at the end of the day, nobody is above the law. And when the law comes to collect, or karma comes to collect, you cannot stand behind or start making accusations that they are trying to take down the race card is what's getting me. Like, everybody wants to use the race card, right? And we've been hearing these rumors forever, right? And it just so happens that we don't get to tell karma, the universe, God, whatever you believe in. If you don't get to tell them when to come and collect, it's just that when it happens, it happens. I mean, but like, to make it a race thing, I seen something else that really, really bothered me, and I'm going to say it contrary to belief. Nessa, see what's going on. Thank you so much for being here. I know this is last moment, but my mother is, today she's taking some time, not taking some time, but she's in the activity this morning, which I'm happy about. Happy to see, because she hadn't been going to her activities, but today she did. So this is one of the biggest days in the Diddy trial. Brendan Paul is going to be on the stand. I'm going to be bringing that over shortly. God really knows what he's doing. And it's a lot, like, to have that much power. And when you have that much money, comes power. After power comes, should be, humility. People should be humbled, right? Instead of doing things that will have you in a situation like Diddy is in now, and that we don't know what's going to happen with Tyler Perry. I do know that I did start reading that document, and I just have one thing to say about that. And I'm not really going to get into that, because that's not what we're here for today. We're not here. We're not here for that. But I do want to just say that at some point, for the paperwork that I read in regards to the Tyler Perry case, it's wrong for Tyler Perry to do what he did. But when you read the case, right, and somebody's trying to influence you in a way to do something that you're uncomfortable with, right? Because it started out when we're going to read the documents. Because when it started out, it was like he started slow. This person you started, the bell started ringing in your head, right? You were gainfully employed, but interested in going into the industry, the acting industry. So at that point, it would have been a no for me. Listen, I don't know what this is. It's a no for me. And even if this, Tyler Perry persisted, I still think that, this guy had an opportunity to be like, But to go, try to go and go other, there's a lot of things that are left out of this case. Not saying it didn't happen. Not saying that. But there's a lot of things that are left out. Like, it's just, to me, it's just, something that's missing. So, Tyler Perry, you get into a position and then you can only, oh my goodness, what did I just do? You can only blame.
God really knows what he's doing. God really knows what he's doing. Don't stress out.
Okay. So you can only blame yourself in a sense, right? Because you know what's to come. I'm just saying, I didn't see that this guy gave like too much resistance. And I truly, truly, truly believe that some people go into this knowing I'm going to just do this, and there's going to be something in the end for me. There's going to be money in the end for me. So that's all that I'm saying. I do believe that there was ill intent on behalf of the guy that is suing. There was ill intent, I believe. I believe that this guy already knew what he was going to do. Those are just my thoughts, my beliefs. Take it for what you want to take it for. But yeah, it is just, I just can't see myself, and that's just me, but I can't see myself staying in a situation where it has not gotten to it has not gotten that far, where you could see the signs of what's to come. For me, I just would not move forward in this thing. So do I believe that the young man that's filed the suit against Tyler Perry have some ill intent in the back of his mind? Yes, I do. So we're going to get to that when we get to that. So maybe I'll change my last live, since I wasn't going to do this. I was going to do this live later, but like I said, things change. So we're going to go and try to pull this up. Now, if you're here for the first time, please hit the like button as a free way to support the show. It will help the video get out into the algorithm. The like or the dislike button, whatever you feel it today. We know, like, some people just like to dislike things for whatever reason, and it's fine with me. As long as it's still engagement either way, hit the like button, hit the dislike button. Let me go over here to see where we are today in the Diddy trial so far. Hopefully, Brendan Paul is on the stand. As we know, as of yesterday, the oh, look at that. As of yesterday, the defense kind of like held out because I know that they are dreading this day. They are dreading this day. They are dreading this day. So let me see if he has taken. Oh, wow. The prosecution is saying they only need 90 minutes. For the direct. So Brendan Paul was checked in. Child, let me bring it on over. Shout out to P. Diddy trial updates, Jewel Mancy on Twitter. Also to Inner City Press. I'm going to start with her updates. Let's just bring it over. But if they're only needing 90 minutes, child, what in the what? Do it like this. Let's see. Okay. What in the what? So let me just bring this up here. Oh, here it is. All right. I want to make sure that I like to. All right. So Brendan Paul was checked in. Thank you, Nessa C, for being over here holding me down. I appreciate you so much. Like I said, this was last minute. So, oh, wow. They having a morning already, y'all. So the judge said one of the jurors experienced a bout of vertigo on their way to court this morning and won't be able to join us today. But Brendan Paul was checked in by court security about almost an hour ago. The judge comes out and says they have a sidebar that was called. So what's going to be next? What is going to be next? So a judge of Subramanian will be making inquiries to learn more about the juror's condition. In the meantime, some exhibits related to D-Rock have been flagged by Mr. Driscoll. And I'm waiting. Hopefully Forever has let me see if I can go to her. I don't know. I think she's at work. But if I wanted to just let her know because all right, hold on a minute. Because I didn't tell her, but all right. All right. Let me just make sure. Okay. So, because I did find out, that Mr. Donaldson is one of Diddy's attorneys, and I know that for always we were talking about that. So if she comes in, I'll let her know that he is an attorney. I thought that he was just part of the team, but he actually is an attorney. He actually is Xavier. I didn't know it was Xavier's last name, so his last name is Donaldson. So there's no foundation showing this is linked to One Stop. So they're having a they don't like the exhibits about something that they're trying to put into evidence about D-Rock. So now if you guys haven't figured it out or still don't believe that KK is not taking the stand, and that could be for a couple of reasons. The prosecution probably did not want to use her because they're going to charge her. They didn't need any information from her. They were able to make their case without her testimony. However, KK is all over this thing. So I do believe that she will be charged along with D-Rock. He is somebody else that comes up often in this case. He may even I think that they're all going to be charged. Both of them and the security guard Fahim will be charged with obstruction of justice, for the simple fact that there was an investigation going on. You do know that almost all of Diddy's staff could or could not be a part of this investigation. So they're reaching out to Mia. Mia's not responding, and that was D-Rock reaching out to Mia, even though he hadn't worked with Diddy while he was no longer a part of the security team. Mia was, terminated, and she hadn't spoken to them. She hadn't spoken to Diddy in, I think it was over a year. And so when this happened, now you reach back out to her and you want to have a conversation because she may help you jog your memory. That can go either way depending on how the government presents it to the jurors in the closing, if that's what they are getting at. And also D-Rock then started to contact Mia after that, and then she reporting back to Diddy. All of this stuff is in evidence. Reporting back to Diddy that her phone appears to be ringing outside of the country. So all of this matters. So let's see here. Driscoll, without proof that it's One Stop, it's irrelevant. Judge, it clearly appears to involve a rug transaction. So whatever they're fighting back on, the judge says, hold on. It clearly involves a rug transaction. Ms. Steiner, which witness is this exhibit tied to? No specific witness. Even if it's not One Stop, the content heavily involves rugs. Another thing that I want to tell you guys, that there is that Star One? There is a company, Star One, that handles Diddy's finances. And they proved during this case, that there is Robin, her name kept coming up. Robin works for that company, and she actually approved funds to be sent for rugs, for them to purchase rugs, hotel rooms, everything. She approved it. That's not good. That right there presents a RICO. That's part of the RICO charge. They were using the enterprise for illegal crimes. You cannot do that. And, people have that question. So this isn't distribution because he wasn't selling it. He wasn't selling it, but he was giving it to other people. It wasn't just for his personal consumption. He was giving it to people and having a conversation directly with Robin to say that he needed money to purchase 15 pills of Mollywop. Robin may have some explaining to do, because she's on these email threads that they've text message threads that they've already They already have into evidence, and the defense already stipulated too. So if something comes into evidence and it's given to the defense to look over, if the defense stipulates to that evidence, it means that they are agreeing that that is evidence that came from wherever the government is saying that it came from. In this case, Diddy's phones, Diddy and KK's phones. So it's really, really sad. So let's go down here. The second chat, for example, discusses 3 bottles at a set price. Child, do you have a witness who could confirm that this was One Stop's number? From what I've just read, it seems like some sort of transaction. It doesn't explicitly mention rugs. We may have another exhibit that could help establish that link. The judge says, all right, we'll take a look. Ms. Shapiro, regarding the defendant's request to charge, there's a point raised about how the RICO predicate should be handled. Let me jog your memory. Wait, listen. I didn't come on yesterday because I was so, first off, I was exhausted. I just, for me, when you set an appointment for something like the previous week, and we get to an appointment and we're starting from the information that I gave you the previous week, and now you're telling me yesterday, some stuff like that frustrates me. It just frustrates me. What do you mean you're waiting for a response? You were given this paperwork last week. And so you're doing today. We're waiting today for something that I gave you last week. Now you want me to make another appointment to come back next week. Stuff like that just drains me, because make it make sense. Do you not understand? So yeah, I was a little frustrated yesterday, looking at this trial yesterday, because it was like they were really dragging it out. They are dragging out the fact that they don't want to get Brendan on the stand. But listen, the defense, maybe y'all should have just let that happen yesterday, because now we get Brendan. It's a fresh morning on a fresh day. He's going to take the stand regardless. Okay. Excuse me. He's going to take the stand regardless. And I believe we're going to see fireworks soon. Okay. So look at Brendan Paul. This is Brendan Paul's second postponement of his testimony. Wait a minute. So wait, because the juror sick thing, hold on. But I want y'all to take a look at Brendan, y'all. Brendan done stepped up his game, okay? Brendan has stepped up his game. Do you hear me? Because this is how Brendan showed up this morning on my thumbnail. This is how he showed up yesterday. Puffy wasn't in the courtroom when he said, I plead the fifth. Where's the immunity deal? Bring it on down. Here, to his attorneys. The attorneys was like, all right. He like, all right, I'll be here. I'm gonna be here in the court. I'm gonna be outside the courtroom because I can't be in the courtroom during any testimony yet. But I'm here, Judge, whenever you finish with the witness that's on the stand. Yesterday, Brendan was he was in a black suit. He had on a white shirt, but he was in a black suit. Today, Brendan said, let me jazz it up a little bit. Just jazz it up just a little bit. I'm going to just put on this little, this, I don't know. Let me see if I can see. Is that designer or is that Walmart or I don't know, but I'm just saying that he stepped it up from the messed up hair, and he got his hair. He got a little flip up in the front, y'all. Listen, what kind? Child, he got on Prada shades. Go ahead, Brendan. For the one time. Brendan said, I'm not coming to play. I came to slay. And show this dude Child, let's get into Brendan, because is he all right, we just come on with the Cletus. Is it? This is Brendan Paul's second postponement. I just need y'all to do what y'all listen, y'all. I don't know what's going on. Are they postponing court today because the juror is sick? I don't think so. Hold on. All right, so let me see what inner city press is talking about. Cause y'all not gonna have me waste this good live. Y'all not gonna have me run this good live, ruin this good live, cause I was so ready for this. That's funny. All right. Let me go over here to inner city press, because what's going on in the city? I mean, did they cancel? Oh Lord, y'all. I done came up here and started, and so the trial is they done. That's all we gonna see of Brendan. He not gonna even be on the stand. So now I got to make a segue and move on around, because I'm not gonna mess up this good live, even though I've been here for 33 minutes and 49 seconds. So what we're gonna do is take little Brendan off. But Brendan came in Black Friday, came today in this little tweed. I guess that's a tweed suit. He got on Prada glasses, so I think if he's wearing Prada glasses, that's probably a designer suit. I was trying to look and see if I could. Is it designer, Walmart, whatever, men's, you know, the men's warehouse suit place? I don't know. But now I got to change up my whole. We gonna segue over to Mr. Tyler Perry. Okay, Tyler Perry. Right. We're gonna segue over to I mean, I guess the universe is saying, like, we want y'all, we need y'all to wait on this good stuff that we're gonna have, this good testimony that we getting ready to get from this young man here, Brendan Paul, because he knows it all. So they done postponed the court date, because I need you, the judge, to see how long is this vertigo going to last. How long is this vertigo going to last? This juror. Y'all may need to move on. And whatever happened to juror number 7 is also what I want to know. So there will be no court until Friday in regards to the P. Diddy trial. No, so let me go over here, and I'm sorry, y'all, but I gotta do this real quick, because we are segueing from Diddy to Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry. Let's talk about it. Hold on, y'all. Let me just get my paperwork over here. I know Brendan Paul is like, listen, I want to get back to my regular scheduled program. Who told y'all? Who told y'all? But let's get into this Tyler Perry thing though. Give me a moment, y'all. I'm gonna have to I got a segue because we was on Diddy. We wasn't on Tyler Perry, but now we're gonna have to move it on to Tyler Perry. Because court has been adjourned for Diddy until Friday. I believe that this is all in the cards. Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry. Listen, all I'm going to say is when you are when you are given a when you are given when you have a gift and God recognizes that you have a gift, you have to be responsible, and that's with anything. Like I always say it here, about a YouTube platform, and I'll say it about anything. When you have a gift, you have to protect your gift at all costs. Be responsible with your gift, not protect. Be responsible with the gift that you are given. So if you are given, if God blesses you, with a way that you can have to take you from a rough place, because we know Tyler's story, right? We are aware that he's made some great work. He's had some hard times, and we do know by rumor that he struggles with some things, right? And I don't care how much he does not put on the Madea. He always looks like Madea to me. Chill. Tyler Perry. So you have to be cautious with the gift that you are given. And I always say you cannot be bigger than the program, right? Tyler Perry has shared some things with us about his misfortunes growing up. He's been, according to him, essayed. And so, a lot of people were rooting for him when he got into this position to take his play. The Madea play was funny. He had did it over and over and over again, and take that and become who he is today, owning a whole studio in Atlanta that is huge. It's across so many different properties and things like that. But rumors still were out there about inappropriate things that people said that they had went through as it relates to him in some inappropriate things, right? That's not something that we ever, well, not me. I'm not the type of person that I want to see everybody win. I'm not the type of person that I don't want to see people win. So I'm going to, delight in this that, whatever's going on with Tyler Perry and this guy right now. So I'm not going to say I delight in it. I just say that, you have to be very careful. And as I said, and as I stated, I am going to also say what I feel about this guy that's, brought this lawsuit. And to me, I just feel like he could have moved on. Like, excuse me, that's the thing. People want star power at whatever price that it comes at. And so the things that are mentioned in the suit, we're going to look at that in a minute. I just see different areas and different times where this guy could have moved on, right? You could have moved on. You know what? You make me feel uncomfortable. I thought you were a professional. I looked at you to be a whatever. But when I read the court docs, you're going to see, I guess he figured I better go along to get along, right? That's the good way I can explain it. And that's not a good thing, especially when you're trying to be some type of breakout, star, or trying to find your celebrity. It does not excuse. It does not excuse anything that Tyler Perry may have done inappropriate. Does not excuse that. Not by a long shot. It does not. But you as a person have to say at some point, which should be the beginning point. Nah, I have talent, and you're not going to con me into doing this. I thought you were supposed to be a professional. Not wait until you get enough evidence. I'm just saying, y'all. Not wait until you get enough evidence. Oh, so now I'm going to sue you for $290 million. And Tyler Perry should know better. You should know better. I'm not sure if you didn't, tend to your issues, as a child. Like, I'm not sure, y'all. I just think that this could have been avoided. So just give me a minute, y'all. I'm just trying to, because we were rerouting. I didn't know that, court was going to be adjourned until Friday. So it is. And so now we have to, Allie, what's up? Allie, just to give you an update, court was adjourned to Friday. One of the jurors has, what do you call that? A vertigo. And so they released the they released the court was adjourned until Friday. So we're going to go over the Tyler Perry lawsuit. Just give me a minute, because I just need to I need to change this thumbnail really quick. Just to let people know we're not talking about Diddy anymore. We are talking about Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry. Ciao. Tyler. I just don't understand. And I did see somebody that was reporting saying, oh, this is a witch hunt. They're taking down all the. No, these have been rumors out here. The Boondocks, they are always they're on point sometime when it comes to certain things. They actually made a cartoon about this, but they were caught by the people that, the money. And they actually had Tyler Perry's name in the lawsuit, and they told them they needed to remove it. So what they did was they changed it to his real name, and they caught them. So I saw that interview, and maybe we'll take a look at that really quick. So yeah. In the meantime, smash that like button if you are in the building. As a free way to support the show. And I'm just updating these things really quick so people will know this is not about about P. Diddy. This case was adjourned until Friday. I just think that means that Brendan Paul's lawsuit testimony is going to be epic. That's how I make that. I'm just going to draw that conclusion. Let me. All right, so yeah, we're going to use this one right here. All right. So then let me bring over the court doc. And we're going to read that. Let me see what time. Meet my mama yet. All right. I just got to make sure I change this because we're not talking about the diddler anymore. So I just need to update this over here. Tyler Perry. Tyler Perry. All right. It's not going to be good. Oh, no, that's not it. All right. All right. So, all right. So I just needed to update my information because we're not in. So, yeah. Update my information. So let me get the paperwork. So Tyler Perry, so disappointing because we watched him grow from struggling to becoming, oh my goodness, to becoming this successful I wonder why that's going on. Hold on. To becoming this successful person in the industry, right? And so now it is not looking good to me. There's another thing. I want to read it. I'm gonna read. I want to read what it says. Hold on, y'all. Because if my memory suits me correctly, I want to say that this guy name drop. We're gonna get to it. Now I gotta pull it back. I wasn't gonna go here, but here we go. Gosh, y'all bear with me, please. No, why I had that. Why is it doing this to me? I said I'm gonna leave that right there. And it's yeah. I'm gonna leave that right there. But while I'm going through this, I am gonna talk about the while I'm trying to get this up here, I am gonna talk about the case yesterday, how people are saying when it comes, I'm gonna go revert back to Diddy for yesterday because I didn't go live. I was supposed to, but yeah, pretty frustrated and everything yesterday. So there was someone interviewed Judge Mathis, and Judge Mathis was saying that he believes that the judge should have investigated the matter about the jurors as where the juror lives, right? But that's not why the judge released the juror. The judge released the juror for lack of candor, which means like he don't know how to tell the truth. Why does this keep going off like this? He doesn't know how to tell the truth, right? So because he could have an address in New York, and of course, they are saying that he that he they could have found out where he lived, all that. The thing was his lack of candor. So he could have told them, no, I do live in New York, but I do have an address in New Jersey. And the fact that he did not tell them that, and then when they asked him again, his answer changed for a third time. So that means that he should have told them when they first during voir dire. I live in New York, but sometimes I stay in New Jersey. But the fact that he didn't, the judge felt like um, there was an issue when it came to him being, I'm being honest. So how could he be honest during a trial if he couldn't be honest during the time that um during the time that when they were asking him about something as small as that. So I think there is a difference, because they tried to make it out to be a racial issue, but that's not what it is. They didn't, and the judge made sure that he specifically stated that that's not why he was let go. He was let go due to his lack of candor, not being able to tell the truth. That is so crazy. I had this morning, and I should have did. Oh wait a minute, it might be. Might be under here. So that's why the judge let the juror go. And I guess Judge Mathis is saying that he could have done something else. He could have had a hearing. They could have he could have provided an affidavit about where he lives. But they didn't allow that. That didn't happen. So I'm gonna just go over this very briefly. Okay, so because I can't even find. I had the court doc here, and then now I can't even find it. I can't find it now. I had it in my where I had it at. It refuses to stay open. But the reason why I wanted to read directly from the court doc because I wanted to read how he said it started, and then how it progressed. And so I do know there has been rumors out here about Tyler Perry in regards to this, but the thing is, this young man initially lived in another state, had a different job. He was hired to work for Tyler Perry. So he had other income that he could have, leaned on that. He had other employment before. So I'm not saying that Tyler Perry, I'm not condoning anything as it relates to these allegations, and especially if they are true. What's up for always? I was saying, I know it was a last minute thing. So we have went from Diddy, because the court is adjourned today because the judge says a juror has vertigo, so it's adjourned till Friday. So we're going to segue into this Tyler Perry um lawsuit, and I know that if you have something to say, you're going to just say it. But the thing for me is, I'm not taking away anything away from this young man. This has been said. There has been these rumors about things like this happening when it comes to Tyler Perry. But my thing is, how this started, how this could have been avoided by this particular person, and how he could have moved on without it having to get this far. So I'm just saying, some people see like the end game when it comes to situations like this. You know what? I'm gonna just go along with this. I'm gonna go along to get along. He actually is saying it in the documents. I'm gonna keep going because maybe if I keep going, um, I can get closer to my goal and closer to where I want to be. Right? All right, y'all. I think I found it. All right, here we go. I can get closer to my goal and closer to where I want to be. And what in the but by doing that, I don't know what's going on with my chair. So so what I'm saying is, I believe that some people know early on, when he started feeling like this wasn't it, he should have just told him. But some people will pay anything to be famous. Like, they'll do anything for the price of fame. That's what I'm trying to say. And so I just think that instead of doing that, um you could have been like, listen, this is not what we doing. I'm not doing this. um I thought that you were a professional. This is not what we are doing. And yeah, this is just not what we're doing. But to wait and stay until it gets this bad, I just don't think that it's a good idea. I don't think that it's a good look. I don't think that it's a good anything. Because for me, I would feel some type of way right away. Right away. right away I would feel some type of way. There is no way that I'm going to go along with something that I don't agree with. No matter who you are, sometimes it may be not be your time. Sometimes you have to take um the long way. Gotta take the long route. And not the easy way out. And especially if somebody is making you feel uncomfortable over and over and over again. You went to the man's house, you stayed at the man's house, you guys had a relationship, but well, he made you feel uncomfortable. But then he invites you back to his house and you go back to the house, even though you know how uncomfortable you were when you went the first time. Listen, it just doesn't make sense to me. And like I said, not to take anything away from this young man and his experience, because the last thing that I'm going to do is so yeah, I there's just a lot. I mean, it's just things I guess that I wouldn't do, but to each his own. If I can get this daggone thing to open, it's getting on my nerve. So, let me see. Okay. Gosh. All right, so I have it here, y'all. So yeah, so yeah, in this lawsuit, this is what I didn't like. Let me just share. Hold on. What I didn't like about this lawsuit. So this is the he name dropped. Boom, boom. What's going on? That's what I'm saying for always. My lip gloss popping. Thank you so much. So that's what I'm saying. I think that like it's just like really really crazy to me. I think that he had a chance and he should have like got out of there. But I believe, not to take anything away from his experience because he decided to stay. But I do believe that, hold on, that he could have gotten out of this a while ago. All right, so here we go. I don't, yeah, maybe because I blew it up too much. Okay, so it's Jonathan J. Delshad. And this was electronically filed. Derek Dixon is the plaintiff in Tyler Perry. Wait, why does this look like this? Y'all, hold on. This is getting on my nerve. Hold on. Oh, that's why. Okay. I was on the wrong daggone. All right. So it's still Jonathan J. Delshad. He's attorney for Derek Dixon. This was filed in Superior Court of California, County of Los Angeles, unlimited jurisdiction. So it's Derek Dixon is an individual plaintiff versus Tyler Perry, an individual TPS Production Services LLC, a limited liability company in Action LLC, which they said is another company of Tyler Perry's, a limited liability company, as does 1-50 inclusive, right? So let's go. Plaintiff Derek Dixon files his complaint against defendant Tyler Perry, aka Emmett Perry Jr., TPS Production Services LLC, and in Action LLC, together defendants alleging as follows. The following complaint is pled on information and belief. This case arises from a sustained pattern of workplace sexual harassment, assault, and retaliation perpetrated by Tyler Perry, a powerful media mogul, against plaintiff Derek Dixon, a professional actor and screenwriter. Mr. Perry is an American actor, filmmaker, and playwright who has built one of the most successful careers in the film and television industry. Mr. Perry took his success and power and used his considerable influence in the entertainment industry to create a coercive, actually exploitative dynamic with Mr. Dixon, initially promising him career advancement and creative opportunities, such as producing his pilot and casting him in his show, only to subject him to escalating sexual harassment, assault, and battery, and professional retaliation when Mr. Dixon did not reciprocate Mr. Perry's unwanted advances. These events occurred while Mr. Dixon was employed as a series regular on the Tyler Perry show, The Oval, and while Mr. Perry held direct control over his employment, compensation, and creative opportunities. So I am going to say that The Oval, he didn't immediately get the role in The Oval. He's going to explain in these court documents how he got that role. He actually was working for him in a different capacity. It was like a one-on-one job. He was hired again for the same job because and he was referred to Tyler Perry by someone else. But we're going to read that he quit that job to move, allegedly, at the request of Tyler Perry, to where he lived. You wonder how long he has not had any work. Well, his character was Pow Pow. He was unalived off of the series. He explains why that happened. He's trying to say that happened because he was not following Tyler Perry's instructions, and he wasn't going along with whatever Tyler Perry wanted him to do. And he was told and threatened that his character would just be unalived off of the show. And listen to, because they're going to explain what his character did on that on the Oval, who his character was. All right, so these events occurred while Mr. Dixon was employed. Okay. Tyler Perry rose against all odds to become one of the powerful figures in the entertainment industry. His success story, once a symbol of perseverance and self-made achievement, has now become a cautionary tale of how unchecked power, wealth, and influence can corrupt those who attain it. Among other contracts, Perry received a lucrative multi-year partnership with Oprah Winfrey Network, and his net worth tops $1.36 billion. Billion with the B. B for boy. Billion, not the M, the B. Tyler Perry's rise to fame and fortune elevated him from a powerless victim to a figure of tremendous wealth, influence, and power, culminating in the ownership of his own film studio. Rather than using his influence responsibly, Tyler Perry has engaged in a pattern of misconduct where he exploited his position of power. Tyler Perry has been using his power and influence to molest, abuse, and actually assault impressionable and vulnerable employees and actors who look to him for guidance and mentorship while pursuing their dreams. This is right here is what I didn't like. I don't like this part right here. They didn't have to put this in here. Because we know the Harvey Weinstein, are they in deliberations yet again? Because you know he's back in court right across the street from Diddy. I just think that he didn't need to put this in here. Just like Harvey Weinstein, Bill Cosby, R. Kelly, Sean P. Diddy Combs, Kevin Spacey, Roger Ailes. Now remember, Diddy is clink clink, but he's innocent until proven guilty. So I think like this is not wise. Has Kevin Spacey been brought to justice? Has he done any? Roger Ailes and many others in the industry. Mr. Perry's success has led him to believe that money and influence can get him whatever he wants. That belief slowly transformed into the false idea that Mr. Perry can get whomever he wants. There are things in life that money cannot buy. Mr. Perry sought the one thing his wealth and influence could not purchase: an actual relationship with a man who would remain silent. It's Tyler Perry the cop. You have a right to remain silent. Perry told Mr. Dixon that his ideal relationship would involve a male actual partner who he could provide for and who would be loyal but emotionally detached. Perry told Dixon, "Whoever ends up with me is going to be a happy MFer." Wow. In essence, Mr. Perry desired a one-sided, coercive dynamic with a subordinate. They love throwing that word coercive around now since they've been using it in the Diddy trial. I heard it in the new the RICO trial they got going on in Fulton County the other day. Dynamic with the subordinate, and arrangement devoid of mutual consent or emotional reciprocity. Thus began Perry's calculated pursuit of Mr. Dixon. This was not Mr. Perry's first instance of actual exploitation. He has demonstrated a troubling pattern of exploiting vulnerable male actors and employees, leveraging his industry power to create a cycle of hope and dependency. You know what that line is for, right? Kevin Spacey, yeah, that was, I can never look at, was it Full House? You know what this is, right, y'all? This man is trying to pull other people out of the woodwork. Like, come on out now, y'all. I dropped it because has Tyler Perry faced some type of allegations? Has he done any payoffs that where a case didn't get filed or something like that? Because I don't believe that. I haven't read anywhere. I've heard the rumors, but I didn't read anywhere where he was legally charged for anything. So that's why I'm like, hold on a minute. So if you let's read this again. This is like, okay, we're gonna start it, but we about to open up the floodgates. Let's go, let's go. So it says he has demonstrated a troubling pattern of exploiting vulnerable male actors and employees, leveraging his industry power to create a cycle of hope and dependency. But he is the single person that's suing him. So I just believe that his attorney is putting it out there. We know there's more. Hit your boy up. So anyway, that's what it reads to me. All right. So first, he offers aspiring actors the prospect of career-defining opportunities, roles that promise visibility and advancement. Then once they are in his professional orbit, he uses the weight of his influence to ensnare them, positioning their success as contingent on meeting his demands in a quid pro quo actual compromise. This pattern of behavior reveals a calculated use of professional power for actual leverage. Using his influence, Mr. Perry provided vulnerable men with acting positions, roles, show contracts, cars, and money. Once the object of his desire was hooked, Tyler Perry would then put them in fear of losing it all unless they engaged in Mr. Perry's perverted desire for actual gratification. Mr. Perry would easily unalive a character in a show of an actor who failed to indulge Perry's actual fantasy. So you said Christian Keys alluded to this. Yes, he did. Said he recorded it on a device in a pen and he told his brother and best friend. Yeah, Cash Out is the new Rico in Fulton County. And yeah, I saw her. I went over to, I watched Cat Not Williams' video on that. Thank goodness that she didn't do the opening statements, but they sure knew how to still throw that snake in there, though. Lord, he put the text messages in the file, and child, this says, listen to the text message before we go on to number 12. But I swear to you, I know how to fix this ish. I love unaliving an MFer in a show that no one expects. You could be sipping Mai Tais, counting coconuts right now. Think about the last episode. They are all pow-powed at. We don't know who lives. He says, exactly, I'm scared. They should be too. He said, nope, they're not. Last I checked, we all got the same bullets in us. Wow, so that has to be Tyler Perry in the gray and he's in the blue, right? But this just says nothing right about now. Best friends of Claudia. Yeah. So let's read. In one such exchange, Perry stated that he could fix things because the actors of a show he was filming should all be scared because they were all pow-powed at and we don't know who lives. Meaning that Tyler Perry was going to use this as a tool to gain compliance with his desires. I need more context. These text messages right here, I need more context. Because it sounds like they're having a conversation about the show. Even though there could be some underlying tone because that's what he's saying. But you need more context. This is not enough. So I'm sure there's more text messages, but the text message, for this, if this is where his attorney inserted this, there should be more context. But anyway, in the text messages itself, I'm saying. All right, so meaning that Derek Dixon was Mr. Perry's actual desire ever since they became acquainted. Dixon was working as part of the event staff for a party hosted by Mr. Perry. This is what I'm talking about. So he was working, he had a job. He used to be, he was part of an event staff. When Perry noticed him, Perry immediately offered Dixon the chance to audition for a part in one of his TV productions. Dixon agreed and was on set with Perry behind the camera for weeks in close quarters. During the time they were filming, Perry would send flirtatious text messages to Dixon. So if they were in close, all right, for always, we got you. Yes, that's what it reads to me. So yeah, if they were in close quarters, either Tyler Perry is the dumbest person in creation. Why do he need to send a text if you're working in close quarters? I'm just trying to. Okay, so Dixon agreed. For example, in one message, Perry stated that he was jealous when he saw Dixon going on a walk with another man named Brad. Why did that photo make me jealous? You two together. Ha ha. I don't know. It's just Brad. Laugh out loud. Laugh out loud. He just wanted to go for a quick walk to get his steps in. And now I'm walking to Chipotle by myself. Laugh out loud. Vic Derek. Get that Chipotle. Yeah. Okay. So what's it going to take for you to have guiltless ex? Have y'all found that yet in therapy? Y'all. Who is y'all? Yes, it's the exact same kind of car, a Geo Metro. Giving up my religious guilt, becoming a Buddhist. That's so cool where you came from. Unfortunately, Derek, I have friends who are in their 50s and 60s who are still dealing with that. And it's so sad. You can have freedom from religious guilt and still believe in Christ. It looks like he's having a conversation with him here. I'm just reading. Lord, hold on, y'all. Y'all know I wasn't paying attention. I'm just reading this, right? And I want to stick to the Lord. I don't want to go into gossip, right? I'm just reading this and reading how I interpret this. It looks like to me that they were having conversations, and at this point, Tyler Perry should know that he has all this power and influence, and then he should know that you can't not be just having these type of conversations with people, because it can get you in trouble. So, but what I'm reading here, what's it going to take for you to have guiltless ex? Have y'all found that yet in therapy? So who is y'all? Was this young man confiding in him? I'm just saying how it could be read, right? Was this young man confiding in him about him wanting to come out? But because of his religion, he stays hidden. And Tyler tells him, this is what I'm reading. This is what it could be. Unfortunately, Derek, unfortunately. So Derek, I have friends who are in their 50s and 60s who are still dealing with that. And it's so sad. It sounds like he's sympathizing with him. I'm just saying you can have freedom from religious guilt and still believe in Christ. It just doesn't sound like it's right there for me when it comes to this yet. So in another text message, Perry stated to Dixon, what's it going to take for you to have guiltless ex? Have y'all found that yet in therapy? That doesn't, y'all, I think yes. Thank you, Allie. Exactly my thoughts. Because at this point, Derek has to be careful unless he has some concrete proof. Because at this point, even though they're adding these text messages in, I don't see anything in these text messages as of yet. There's not enough context. And especially because they're using the words. How do you go from what's it going to take for you to have guiltless X? Have y'all found that yet in therapy? Yes, it's the exact same kind of car, Geo Metro. It does, something is missing. This is what I'm saying. Plaintiff carefully navigated a friendly demeanor to prevent the loss of income and opportunity on the one hand, and on the other, a firm boundary against Perry's advances. That's not what I'm seeing here. And the fact that the Geo Metro car just threw me off because they're trying to write these, they're adding these text messages like they're in a sequence, right? So how they go from talking about what they talking about, and then Tyler Perry jumps to a car, a Geo Metro. I guess maybe he gonna try to explain, his attorney gonna try to explain it over here, I guess. So often when Mr. Perry started drinking, he would demand more attention from plaintiff and get more aggressive with his flirting. On one occasion, when Mr. Perry was drinking, he started to become extremely annoyed when Mr. Dixon avoided him. Mr. Perry stated that of the 600 people in his phone book, he only wanted to talk to Mr. Dixon. So, all right, let's read. Treat myself, right? What are you doing, Derek? That's something that I would interpret the way Tyler Perry talks. And he says, I'm just talking to my sister. He says, I roll, fine, good night. I'll go through the 600 people in my phone book and be annoyed that I don't want to talk to any of them. Okay, you see what he says here, but you see how he didn't say anything about he only wanted to talk to Mr. Dixon. He said, I'll go through the 600 people in my phone book and be annoyed that I don't want to talk to any of them. That's not the same. All right, let's go. So trying to get off so I can go to sleep, laugh out loud. He says, I understand, laugh out loud. Laugh out loud. Apparently, you're not the only one that's been drinking tonight. So this is what Derek is saying now. And Tyler Perry says, I just started. And then he says they didn't laugh out loud. This definitely needs more context. That is not clear. It is like he's the one that inserted that Tyler Perry gets more aggressive when he drinks. And it's like he kind of threw that in there, that he's trying to get off the phone so he can go to sleep. And Tyler Perry says, I understand. He says, laugh out loud. Apparently, you're not the only one that's been drinking tonight. How does that even fit? I'm just saying. He said, I just started. He said, they didn't laugh out loud. Who is they? He keeps talking in these vague terms. Who is they? All right. So Dixon did his best to tiptoe around Mr. Perry's actual aggression while keeping on Mr. Perry's good side. Mr. Perry made it clear to Dixon that if Dixon ignored Perry or failed to engage with the actual innuendos, Dixon's character would be unalived in the next season. Indeed, Dixon's character Dale was pow 4 times in the chest at the end of his first season on the Oval. And Perry always held this over Mr. Dixon's head, implying that Dale would survive if Dixon kept Perry happy. Once Perry recognized the extent of control he had over Mr. Dixon, he escalated this behavior. On multiple occasions, Mr. Perry actually assaulted Mr. Dixon, including one instance where he forcibly pulled off Mr. Dixon's clothing, groped his buttocks, and attempted to force himself on Dixon. Mr. Dixon told a drunken Perry no, and attempted to remove Mr. Perry's hands, but Mr. Perry held tightly onto Dixon's wrists. Mr. Dixon was only able to escape after de-escalating the situation by abruptly changing the subject. These messages are all over the place, not saying what they say. It's saying exactly. This is what I'm saying. You know, we look at things over here like, you know, we're unbiased. Over here on this channel, we're unbiased and we're just reading, you know, this complaint. reading the text messages and it don't match. I mean, this is what the attorney is saying, but these text messages that you are inserting to try and prove this, so far it has not. And that's what I love about us over here on this channel. I'm not a Tyler Perry um fanatic or fan, and I stopped watching. I think the last movie I saw of Tyler Perry's was what was the movie with the girl put the is that Why Did I Get Married? When the guy pushed the girl into the when the lady pushed her um husband into the pool, he treated her nasty. I think it's Why Did I Get Married? That was the last movie I saw of Tyler Perry. I don't even keep up with his stuff. But, right is right and wrong is wrong, and I'm just not seeing what they're saying right about now. The math, exactly, Alec. The math is not mathing. It's not right about now. Like, we've heard the stories, we've heard all that, but I need you got to make it make sense when we're looking at this. Like, I always explain, we are virtual jurors. And yeah, I'm looking at this, and so far it's not making sense. If you're here and you may have to run, please make sure you hit that like button. Please subscribe. We are, I believe, 8 people away from our 4K sub goal. I would appreciate it. It's a free way to support the show. Thank you. So the day after the assault, Mr. Perry called and texted Mr. Dixon relentlessly saying, "Tried you, call me, and I really need to talk to you. Please call as soon as you can." Finally, when Mr. Dixon answered Tyler Perry's call, Mr. Perry profusely apologized for the actual assault while blaming it on other things. Perry continued, he didn't know why he would do that. Maybe he was self-sabotaging. That don't even sound right. He's a billionaire. So even if he pay you $260 million, he's still going to be rich. Child. On the very same call where he apologized for the actual assault against Dixon, Perry told Dixon, "And don't worry, we're going to do your show," referring to the pilot that Perry knew Mr. Dixon had desperately wanted to produce. Where are those conversations? Why are you not talking about those conversations? Shortly thereafter, Mr. Dixon got a call from Perry's lawyer saying that Christmas had come early and that Dixon was getting a substantial raise, and the show was greenlit. Perry's attorney explicitly warned Dixon not to tell any other actor on the show about Dixon's raise because no other actors were getting a raise, only Dixon. Now, normally, when you work, if you've ever had a job, they tell you to keep your financial pay to yourself because of that same reason. They don't want people, somebody may be more experienced than the other person. So yeah, in corporate America, regular 9-to-5 jobs, they tell you that. Please refrain from discussing your pay with other people. They tell you that in corporate America. I know. They tell you that. I got a bonus one year for exceeding expectations. And that's what they told me. We don't give these out often, so if anybody asks, just try and find a way, not to discuss your raise, your pay, what your rating was, this year for whatever. In corporate America, they tell you that. So it says here, Santa Monica is nice. Santa Monica is nice. I'm glad you're going out there. So but what is the text before this? Is he saying he moving to Santa Monica? He says, so the nice. Santa Monica is nice. I'm glad you're going out there. How is your no? Is it stronger? You got to have a strong no. Yes, it's strong. My mom literally thinks I'm going to sell my soul to the Illuminati. She heard Kanye say that it's real. Well, I don't think that, but I do think that you have to be able to say no and mean it and make it clear. This does not sound like a conversation about them two. He said, I'll only say yes if it gets me an Oscar. And then he said he's joking, he's excited. I hear you. He said, well, the only one who could have gotten that for you through X is in prison. So just stick to the no, unless you are really into him. Is this a text between him and somebody else, or is this a text between him and Tyler Perry? Because that definitely did not make sense. That does not make sense when you read it. And it's like right here, they're talking about Diddy. I can guarantee you. Well, the only one who could have gotten that for you through X is in prison. So just stick to the no. Or is he talking about him? They sound like they're talking about somebody else. Unless you are really into him. That is, y'all, this is not, it doesn't make sense. Listen, I just want, I know about the rumors, but it doesn't make sense when you read these text messages. Forget about what the attorney is. He's inserting these text messages to say that this is what it is. They sound like they're having a conversation. If this is him and Tyler Perry about somebody else. So Perry kept telling Dixon that he was sorry. Okay, so Mr. Perry will also try to deflect the blame for the actual assault by saying that Dixon didn't have a strong enough no. That's not what this text is saying, y'all. I'm sorry. And I heard somebody talking about this on another channel, and I get it because, yeah, there have been rumors for a very long time, but this is just so suspect to me. There's not enough context, or the math is not mathing, and the narrative is not fitting into the square narrative is not fitting into the round hole. So Perry told Dixon that you have to be able to say no to propositions for X. Now, that's not what he said. But this attorney put this in here and you put it in brackets because that's not what he said. That's what you added. And mean it and make it clear. To who though? Make it clear to who? This is what I love about the law and digging into things because, like I said, I'm an unbiased person. Just reading this and y'all hearing it and reading along with me, and it's just not matching up. I'm sorry. Dixon did not know how to answer without facing retaliation, cancellation of his production contract, or perhaps being unalived off of the show. So instead, Dixon made a joke out of the situation, stating that I'll only say yes to X if it gets me an Oscar. He didn't say that in the text message. He did not say that in the text. He didn't say to SEX in the text message. I only say yes if it gets me an Oscar. Say yes to what? Say yes to who? So this is why I'm saying, like, it sounds like this young man was going along, looking for something, building a case to try and bring against him. So far, I'm not seeing, it's not going through for me. It's not registering for me. It's not clicking. Not enough content text. In response, Tyler Perry stated the only one who could have gotten the Oscar for you through X is in prison. Why is that bolded and underlined? So he's not in prison. So who is he talking about? I take that as saying, I can't get you that, but the only person that could get you that is in prison. You adding all of these things for you through X, because you like, oh, we got something here. He said for you through X, but the rest of the context is not working. It doesn't fit. So just stick to the no. So yeah, so he's telling him, so just stick to the no. Does that sound like he's trying to influence or coerce him? He's telling him, no, you should just stick to the no. Unless you are really into him. Emphasis added. That's what his attorney is saying. That's not what the text is saying now. Perry revealed through text messages that the no he was referring to was Dixon's no. So to X in exchange for promotion in the industry, classically known as quid pro quo sexual harassment. Perry sent this message to Dixon because that is exactly what Tyler Perry was doing. At some point, Dixon left Atlanta and moved to Santa Monica to create distance from Tyler Perry. Let's go back up there because he said something about Santa Monica and now it all makes sense. However, even at long distances, Mr. Perry continued to actually harass Mr. Dixon. What he said was nice. Santa Monica is nice. I'm glad you're going out there. How is your no? Is it stronger? You got to have a strong no. That does not sound the same, y'all. I'm just keeping it real. I'm not jumping on the bandwagon, but I'm reading what this says. And so far, his attorney seems to be, I got to think of the word that I'm looking for. So the plaintiff, Derek Dixon, is an individual who resides in the state of California. Defendant, Tyler Perry, is an individual who resides in both the state of Georgia and in the state of California and has extensive business contacts in the state of California. So that he has conducted conducts, I think it should be conducted, substantial, continuous, and systematic business activities in California. Defendant, TPS Production Services, LLC, is a limited liability company doing business in the state of California, but is headquartered in Georgia. Defendant in Action, LLC, is a limited liability company doing business in the state of California, but is headquartered in Georgia. Plaintiff is ignorant of the true names and capacities of defendants sued herein, as does 1 through 50, collectively with TPS Production Services, LLC, and Tyler Perry, the defendants or defendant, inclusive, and therefore sues those by such fictitious names under California Code of Civil Procedure 474. Plaintiff will amend this complaint to allege their true names and capacities when the same are ascertained. Plaintiff is informed and believes and thereon alleges that each of the fictitiously named defendants is legally responsible in some manner for the occurrences herein alleged, and that the injuries of plaintiff as herein alleged have been approximately caused by the aforementioned defendants and each of them. What? On information and belief, one or more defendant is the full or partial parent or owner of a wholly or partially owned subsidiary or division of the agent of the alter egos of each other, and or subsidiaries or divisions of an unknown and unnamed parent or holding enterprise. Plaintiff is informed and believes and thereon alleges that each of the defendants named herein has all times relevant to this action been the officer, agent, employee, and or representative of the remaining defendants, and has acted within the course and scope of such agency and employment and with the permission and consent of the defendants. Plaintiff is informed and believes and thereon alleges that each of said defendants is responsible jointly and severally for the events and injuries described herein and caused damages thereby to plaintiff as alleged herein, as the operations of each defendant together with the other ones consist of an integrated enterprise with centralized operations such that the parent has substantial control over the subsidiaries' employment practices and the hiring and firing of employees. On information and belief, it further is alleged that the defendants were at all times relevant hereto, the alter egos of each other, such that to affirm the legal separateness of the defendants for purposes of the claims presented in this action will lead to an injustice and or inequitable result. There is a unity of interest and ownership between the company and its equitable owners, that the separate personalities of the company and its shareholders do not in reality exist. Defendants exhibit and interrelation of operations, commingling of funds, lack of observation of corporate formalities, undercapitalization, centralized control, common management, and common financial control, such that they are integrated enterprise and or are alter egos. The company is a mere shell, instrumentality, instrumentality, and conduit through which the individual defendants carried on their business, exercising complete control and dominance of such business to the extent that any individuality or separateness of the defendants does not and did not exist. Plaintiff is informed and believes and thereon alleges that at all times herein mentioned, each of the defendants was acting as the partner, agent, servant, and employee of each of the remaining defendants. And in doing the things alleged herein, was acting within the course and scope of such agency and with the knowledge of the remaining defendants. Venue and jurisdiction. This court has personal jurisdiction over all defendants because they have purposely availed themselves are residents of the state and or conduct business in California. And this lawsuit arises out of acts that occurred in California and relates to their contacts within California. Further, the vast pattern of abuse, including sexual assault, harassment, and inappropriate, in addition to wielding control and power over a plaintiff, was consistently present when defendant Perry engaged in the most recent acts described herein. The location of all events herein alleged occurred within the jurisdiction of California. Plaintiff was harmed and injured in California by defendants. The California Superior Court also has jurisdiction in this matter because the individual monetary damages and restitution sought herein exceed the minimal jurisdiction limits of the Superior Court and will be established at trial according to proof. Venue is proper in Los Angeles County pursuant to CCP 395A and CCP 395.5, and that liability arose there because at least some of the transactions that are the subject matter of this complaint occurred therein, and or each defendant either is found, maintains offices, transacts business, and or has an agent therein. This action is also timely under California's Sexual Abuse and Cover-Up Accountability Act, California's Sexual Abuse and Cover-Up Accountability Act AB-2777, amended California Civil Procedure Section 340.16, extending the statute of limitations, opening up revival windows for adult survivors of sexual assault and related claims, and acknowledging that a 2-year statute of limitations simply does not provide sexual assault survivors adequate time to heal from the physical and emotional trauma of the sexual assault and prepare for a civil case. So is his time up? And so now he's trying to file under the adult survivors of sexual assault. I thought that there was a time limit on that. I thought that that was just something that they granted for the period of time that, or is it per case? Child, I'm trying to figure out. They go into this. I want to see what else he did because so far it's not lining up. I'm sorry. I'm not. I wanna read on what he's saying that happened because he's talking about defendants, and defendants are Tyler Perry and his companies or whatever. Here goes factual allegations. In on around September 2019, plaintiff worked for an event company called Legendary Events in Atlanta that was hired to organize defendant Perry's studio opening party, the party. Plaintiff was recruited by Tony Conway, the owner of Legendary Events and close friend of Tyler Perry. Mr. Conway decided to place Dixon directly in a role at a party that required frequent conversation with Tyler Perry. Defendant Perry picked plaintiff out of a crowd of employees present at the party and began asking plaintiff questions about his employment status and whether plaintiff was an actor. In or around early October and on the last day of the party, defendant Perry insisted that he and the plaintiff exchange phone numbers, and Perry subsequently texted plaintiff to introduce himself. Perry began by asking Dixon about his dreams and aspirations. Dixon told Perry that he was interested in acting and writing. Perry then told Dixon to do an audition over the phone and send it to Perry. Dixon told Perry he was at a Halloween party. Perry asked to see pictures of Dixon in costume, and Dixon complied. When Perry saw the pictures, he texted Dixon, "I was going to say, your cowboy needs a sugar daddy." Perry continued with, "You look great. You're just lacking costume parts." "Sorry, don't want to offend," Dixon responded. "Not at all. It's so true. Half-ass costume." To which Perry replied, "What's true? Cowboy needs a sugar daddy?" Implying that Perry wanted to be Dixon's sugar daddy. Dixon quickly shut down those comments by reiterating what he said earlier, that the truth was that he was lacking costume parts. How was he dressed as a cowboy? Did he have on a cowboy suit did he just have on the chaps? Lord, take the wheel. All right, so shortly thereafter, Dixon's boss at Legendary Events called Dixon and told him that Tyler Perry was having another event in Los Angeles and specifically wanted Mr. Dixon to fly from Atlanta to Los Angeles to work on the event. Excited for the opportunity to fly to Los Angeles, Dixon was flattered and jumped on the opportunity to meet Tyler Perry again. Shortly after doing the event on November 3rd, 2019, defendant Perry sent plaintiff several text messages that he would love to find plaintiff a job and change the plaintiff's life, insisting that they should make it happen. Perry sent Dixon what turned out to be an ominous warning: "Be careful hanging around me. I cause dreamers to dream bigger. I cause them to not only believe, but do. Then let's make it happen. You're an artist. You have to be fulfilled. Nothing else will suffice." What? Do he cause dreamers to dream big? Y'all, so far it's not his attorney putting this stuff in bold means nothing. Like that's okay. So the very next day, defendant Perry sent an email which contained an offer for plaintiff play the role of Dale in Perry's television series Ruthless. Perry said it was a small role that could get a lot bigger, thereby setting up the first stage in a series of escalating quid pro quo offers. At this point, Dixon did not know that Perry was interested in men or that he was looking for an actual relationship. Dixon assumed that Tyler Perry was genuinely a caring person who discovered the talent that Dixon always felt he had. Dixon filmed his roles in Ruthless in mid-November and went back to his job as an event staff for Legendary Events. Approximately 1 month later, Perry bought and gave Dixon a new car because he hated Dixon's Jeep. Dixon was surprised and elated. Dixon had no idea that he was being set up by Perry for extreme dependence. In December of 2019, Dixon was requested to be part of the event staff at another event at Perry's home in Jackson Hole, Wyoming. After that event, Perry started frequently sending text messages, making phone calls, and demanding that Dixon give some attention. On New Year's Eve 2019, Tyler Perry texted Dixon, "I can't tell you the last time I pumped gas, or went to the supermarket, or flied commercial, or packed a bag, or had good X. It was before I was rich." Dixon found these messages to be strange and untowardly coming from someone like Tyler Perry, but being new to the industry, Dixon played along by downplaying the actual comments and hoping that being around Perry would allow him to showcase his talents as an actor and writer. Does that make sense? Okay, do y'all have the text messages? Because y'all got the text messages for everything else. Y'all had the text messages. Child. Soon after Dixon began giving Perry more attention, Perry made his move on Dixon. In January of 2020, just a few months after his first acting gig, Perry invited plaintiff to his home in Douglasville County, Georgia. Plaintiff showed up to the home hoping that he would be given a chance to befriend Perry and show him how talented an actor Dixon was. At Perry's home, Dixon was served many alcoholic drinks, which Perry also partook in. Dixon felt that Perry was genuinely interested in Dixon's talents as an actor and writer. Perry made no actual advances at Dixon while they were drinking, and the conversation was friendly. At the end of the night, Perry told Dixon not to drive home. Perry said it was dangerous and that Dixon was too inebriated to drive home. Dixon agreed and was escorted to a separate guest room, not knowing that this was a ruse to allow Perry to assault Dixon. Dixon was tired and did not have pajamas, and so he got into the bed only wearing underwear. Before he knew what was happening, Dixon felt someone else slip into bed behind him and start rubbing Dixon's body around his inner thigh in a highly actual and a suggestive manner. Dixon turned around and saw that Tyler Perry was in bed with him. At this point, Dixon's stomach started to turn and he began feeling nauseous. Instinctively, Dixon jumped out of bed and told Tyler Perry that he wasn't that actual. Tyler Perry ignored the comments and told Dixon to turn around so Perry could see him naked in his underwear. Perry then commented on how beautiful Dixon's body was. Dixon once again told Perry that he was not into X. Dixon kept informing Perry that he was not into X in order to keep Perry at bay, while at the same time not insulting the person who was dangling his career in front of him. In response to Dixon's frequent assertions that Dixon was not into X, Perry started prying further. Perry would send Dixon a text message saying, "I would hope that you would let someone hold you and make love to you. You are missing the best years of your life, my friend. Trust me. I hope you get past that block in your mind." Perry was implying that Dixon would hopefully get past the block in his mind and let Tyler Perry make love to him. So let's read the text messages, y'all. Yeah. "I will hope that you would let someone hold you and make love to you. You are missing the best years of your life, my friend. Trust me, I hope you get past that block in your mind." Well, it's not this person, but yes, I want that too. I'm working on it. Therapy is helping. Ciao. Ciao, y'all. Ciao. Y'all, I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know what people are reading. This is not, these messages do not imply what this attorney is saying. I was looking and like, all right, so he got proof. But when reading the lawsuits and then reading the text message, it does not add up. I'm sorry. If it added up, I'll be like, now Tyler. But this is saying, just because he said he hopes he get, it looks like they are making up a story to fit the narrative of these texts, but the text does not, it does not have a lot of context. And the text always, to me, seem like he's confiding in Tyler Perry about someone else. It says, well, it's not this person. This is him sending this back to him. "I hope you get past that block in your mind soon." He says, well, it's not this person. What? "But yes, I want that too. I'm working on it. Therapy is helping." And it sounds like he was taken advantage by somebody else, and maybe he's in therapy for it, and he has a mental block. We need to see all of the text messages. They need to put them all in. And if, Tyler Perry, according to what I've seen earlier, is not biting and not going to just pay him. So he's just not going to get an easy payday. It looks like for now, Tyler Perry is not selling. He said that this guy's trying to get money out of him, and no, that's what he's saying. Hey, Poem, how are you? Welcome. Make sure you hit that like button just in case you gotta run. Yeah, so my thing is, this is not, the text messages is not matching the suit. Not one text message that we read so far is matching what this attorney is alleging in this suit. So it is what it is. Like I said, I'm not a Tyler Perry fan. I haven't watched any of his movies, his shows that come on TV, BET, wherever he airs at, I am unbiased in reading this, and it's not matching. She said, Paul said, maybe he's angry that he didn't receive that Oscar. I don't know, but it's just not, it's just not equal. This text thread seems like they're talking about somebody else. And so did the text thread up above. Right is right and wrong is wrong. That's how I view things. So and he's telling him, you're missing the best years of your life, my friend. Trust me. It seems like something happened to this young man, and he was confiding in Tyler, and Tyler's trying to ask him. I'm not a Tyler Perry fan, but I'm not going to just be like, oh, yup, he did it. Yeah, because what's in it? Christian Keys was saying this before. But this guy is actually giving text messages, and the text, and it's just not matching up. So I guess we need to see the full text, when it started, when it stopped, all that. Here it doesn't. You said that he kept apologizing. Where are those texts? So okay, let's go. After that assault in January, Dixon felt betrayed. Perry continued to call or text Dixon every day, asking to talk to him more. Dixon ignored Perry, which led Perry to text him, Derek, why don't you text me more? The more, okay, now let's see if we can see that text message. The more Dixon ignored Perry, the more aggressive Perry became, until finally Perry offered Dixon a part in a new show called The Oval. That's getting really aggressive. The more he ignored him, the more aggressive he became. Hey, I have a character that you can play in The Oval. This is crazy. Dixon was intrigued and was hoping that this would be the big break that he was looking for, and a chance for him to display his acting talent. On February 11, 2020, Perry told Dixon to quit his job at Legendary Events and come work exclusively for Perry. Perry was not able to control Dixon so long as Dixon had a secondary income that was providing for his basic needs. Do you have the text message of that, Mr. Dixon? Once Dixon quit his job due to his role on The Oval, Perry started getting more and more personal with Dixon, knowing that Dixon was now under his control. Perry would often say things like, I give and give, and no one ever does anything for me in return. No one ever gives me what I want or what I need, implying that Dixon was not giving him X. Chow. Where's the proof? Because you keep putting these text messages in. So anyway, Perry started asking Dixon about Dixon's sexual preferences and what role Dixon took on when engaging in sexual acts. He told him that he wasn't into X, didn't he? So whether he was a top or bottom, which in actual terms means whether Dixon preferred to give or receive. Oh my gosh. X in the rear. All right, yeah, that's what it is. Perry further indicated to Dixon that he had X with men before and that he was a top. Perry further told Dixon that when you have a big and when you hit the G spot right on these bottoms, they go crazy. Oh, that is just crazy. Woo, Lord. Perry further told plaintiff that he wanted a man who was in a relationship with another individual, but with whom he could be emotionally involved and engage in sexual acts with. I thought he wanted to be detached, and up top he wanted to be in a relationship with somebody that wasn't attached. So emotional means that if you're emotionally involved, you're attached. But above, he said he wanted somebody that was detached. Yeah. Like a friend with benefits relationship, because Perry did not have time to deal with the emotional aspect of a relationship, only the physical. So first, you said that he said he wants to be in a relationship with an individual, but with whom he could be emotionally involved. He could be emotionally involved. But okay, so despite these comments, Dixon knew that a full-throated refusal would land him in the doghouse and might result in his role being cut on The Oval. Fearing that his career would end before it began, Dixon put up these comments and continued to maintain that he was not the actual type. On or around March of 2020, Dixon received the script for The Oval. He was written in as a season regular and was therefore expected to quit his job with legendary events. I thought that, okay. So Dixon's character was written as a gay, homeless, and desperate store clerk who had to sleep with one of the other characters for a place to stay. More importantly, at the end of the season, his character would be pow-powed 4 times in the chest. Dixon felt that this was a way for Perry to test Dixon out for a year and see if he would be loyal to Perry. Dixon felt. That is the key word. Those are key words. When Dixon asked Perry about the pow-powing, Perry indicated that if Dixon did a good job, Dixon would be back. And that a pow-powing didn't necessarily mean that Dixon's character was out of the script for future seasons. I'm not seeing it. I'm not, just because you were pow-pow, like, this is okay. Perry commented that Dixon's character was only pow-pow in the chest, not in the head. Because they be talking about a script like that. Dixon immediately understood that his job security depended on his relationship with Perry. From this point on, Dixon worked with the constant fear of losing his job if he did not engage with and endure Perry's actual harassment. Shortly after giving Dixon this news and after telling Dixon that future seasons were dependent on Dixon doing a good job, Tyler Perry invited Dixon to his home in Atlanta. Doing a good job. This is your first acting gig, right? Or the second one. If you're going to do a good job in the movie, I'm just playing devil's advocate because, like, you can't go into this with a closed mind just because this attorney is writing this stuff that is all true. So I'm just being playing devil's advocate here. Doing a good job does not equate to you having sex with me. It doesn't. Plaintiff asked questions and tried to wiggle his way out of the invitation because he remembered what happened the last time the two were alone. However, plaintiff knew that his job security, income, and livelihood depended on his attendance. Plaintiff had seen other employees of Perry's who had experienced sudden unalivings on the show when they fell on Perry's bad side. In fact, Perry had made it clear to Dixon that he would often unalive characters in order to get an actor to be loyal or obedient. When Dixon arrived at the house, Tyler Perry gave Dixon a warm welcome and was very friendly. Soon after, Tyler Perry started asking Dixon a slew of actually charged questions, even asking if Dixon liked it rough in bed. Be right back. Need to grab a charge. Gotcha. Perry then physically reached out and violently grabbed Dixon's throat, attempting to physically choke Dixon, and remarked, "Wow, look how excited you just got. You do like that." Dixon was horrified, shocked, and in a panic. Dixon never thought that Tyler Perry could get so violent and would place his hands on Dixon's throat in an actually aggressive manner. Dixon did not enjoy or consent to any of this conduct. Dixon was in shock and took steps to immediately de-escalate the situation. Due to the onset of the COVID-19 pandemic in March 2020, filming for The Oval was postponed indefinitely. During the period in which filming for The Oval was postponed, Tyler Perry would make FaceTime calls and other contacts to Dixon almost every day, treating Dixon as his on-call pet. Dixon felt obligated to answer for fear of losing his role and career. Perry often asked about Dixon about his whereabouts, often demanded that Dixon respond immediately. When he didn't, Perry would send text messages to Dixon stating, "Derek, grrr, and what are you doing?" Additionally, Perry was jealous of anyone who Dixon had a relationship with. Tyler Perry told Dixon that if Dixon got COVID-19 from his roommate at the time, Dixon would not be able to shoot The Oval. Perry encouraged Dixon to move into one of the on-set studio houses owned by Perry, where Perry would have more control over Dixon's whereabouts. Thereafter, Perry would text plaintiff about other actors on his show, Ruthless. Perry told Dixon how he manipulated employees through ruthless retaliation. Perry told Dixon that if he did not like the way an actor behaved or the way the actor was acting, the character would simply be unalived in season 2. Dixon understood that Perry was informing Dixon to be cautious about disappointing or upsetting Perry. As a result, Dixon continued to put up with Perry's suggestive messages and actual advances while doing his best to protect himself by taking notes and amassing evidence of the actual harassment and keeping old text messages. Ciao. There it is right there. In one conversation in or around April of 2020, Perry told Dixon that Perry imagined Dixon prancing around in a cowboy outfit and that Perry did things to Dixon and that he couldn't talk with Dixon about any further because they were so wrong. So he couldn't talk to him and he didn't talk to him? In or around April of 2020, and while Dixon was living in the studio homes on set, Perry often coerced Dixon to drink alcohol and then get on the phone with Perry. Perry would frequently have someone drop off alcohol at Dixon's door. Perry would eventually turn these phone calls into actually explicit rants. Perry would get frustrated with Dixon and tell Dixon that he was not giving Perry what he needs. Dixon's refusal to succumb to Perry's actual advances caused Perry to be ever more frustrated. Eventually, Perry warned Dixon that if Dixon told his castmates about the harassment, Dixon would be opening himself up to lots of questions and foolishness, and demanded that Dixon not discuss any of their conversation with his castmates. Perry upped the stakes by telling Dixon point blank that he was not to tell anyone about their friendship. Perry told Dixon that it should all remain a secret and tried to make it seem like this secret was for Dixon's benefit. Did anybody notice that these text messages go from a black screen to a white screen at times? I don't know if y'all noticed that. But I do know you either have to have your scene set to black or white. It doesn't, when it's daytime, it's one color and it goes directly to black on a phone. I'm just saying. So let's look at this text message here. Listen, to me, if you let the cast know that you and I have a new friendship, then you are opening yourself up to a lot of questions and foolishness. And if you look at this text bubble that's up here into right here, text messages are normally not that close. Y'all see that? Okay, so you want them to know that you are there because of your talent and not because we have a friendship or because Tony got me to give you a job. You earned your spot like everyone else. Don't give people an opportunity to play you small or they will. I can't teach you everything. Unfortunately, there are some things you'll have to learn for yourself because when we go back to work, I'm not going to know you. I don't have any friends that work for me, my friend. Professionalism is key. You're totally right. I hope you got it, my friend. That makes total sense. Just watch the behavior of everyone around me on the set. Yeah, I will. Don't want to give anyone that opportunity because work is work. Okay, didn't know about the screen thing. Yeah, I'm just looking at it because look, the screens are sometimes black and then the screens are sometimes white. All right, for always. This is just not. It's not making sense. Even this message here, like, I'm just hoping that people wouldn't do like if child. Perry continued to actually harass Dixon. On June 27, 2020, defendant Perry texted Dixon that all he wanted for his birthday were biscuits and BJs, referring to BJ's oral. Child. But that all Perry ever received were biscuits, insinuating a request for oral from Dixon. This text was followed by other messages calling Dixon cute, cutie, and that Perry was just thinking about Dixon. Despite these advances, Dixon continued to act professionally and continued to tell Perry he was not edgewell. That seemed to be the only way of keeping Perry at bay while keeping his job. Y'all know if somebody, child, I don't know. In July of 2020, Perry remarked about how much he loved the script for Dixon's television series, calling Losing It, and exclaimed that he wanted to shoot the pilot for it. Perry would never really work toward that goal, and what Perry was really doing was making Mr. Dixon more dependent on Perry, so that Perry could later extract actual favors from Dixon as a quid pro quo to produce the pilot. In or around August of 2020, Dixon and his castmates began shooting for the Oval after delays due to the COVID-19 pandemic, during which time all castmates and crew lived on the studio set in a quarantine bubble. Now, see, he tried to make it seem like he was the only one that lived on that set during COVID. Now it comes out that the whole crew lived on the set. Y'all, something is just not right. It says, but I swear, let's read this text message. But I swear to you, I know how to fix this ish. I love unaliving an MF in a show that no one expects. You could be sipping Mai Tais, counting coconuts right now. Thinking about the last episode, they are all pow that we don't know who lives. Exactly, I'm scared. They should be too. Nope, they're not. Last I checked, we all got the same bullets in them. Y'all, I'm telling y'all that this does not make sense. It sounds like they could be having issues with somebody on the set, and he's saying he know how to fix it. But it's applying that this is like the context, there is not enough context. I'm sorry. Shortly after, Perry confided in Dixon that 2 cast members were pissing him off, and that Perry swore that he knew how to fix this issue. See that? 2 cast members. He didn't say him. He said 2 cast members. Perry added that he loves unaliving a MF in a show that no one expects, that he was going to pow them all pow and kill them MO's characters, referring to killing off characters in the Oval played by actors who Perry wanted to retaliate against. More importantly, Perry stated in one text message, I may need to shoot the shootout early, which Dixon understood to mean that unless the actors knew they were going to perish and that their time on the show was over, they wouldn't change their ways. Perry was going to film the shoot out early so that the actors would be more submissive to Perry's request. All right, here we go. Message, TylerPerry.pdf. Page 756 of 1,425. Child, they are stupid to think that. So stupid. I'm going to have a come to Jesus moment with them. I think I'm going to pow them all, get shot. And he said that'll do it. They'll be like, wait, I may need to shoot the shootout early, like Tuesday, or maybe, okay, that Beyonce song on the loudspeaker for everyone. I was just about to text you this. It sound like they be communicating with each other, but in the blue this is Derek. That'll do it. They'll be like, wait, you interested in, because listen, y'all, unless he can supply the whole text message for each one of these text messages that he shared, this is not going to go anywhere, because he only mentions some things where he don't have a text message for, and so his attorney is writing up this, right? But he's not showing any, this is not concrete evidence, because what he's saying the text messages say, that's not what the text messages say. I'm sorry. I'm just not gonna just go, just jump on his side because so many people want people to be clicking and viewing, and because some people say, like I said, there have been rumors, but none of his text messages are fitting the story. Doesn't fit the narrative. I'm sorry. The poem, it does sound like a badly written script. I just wish that these text messages would fit the narrative more, because I just don't like the way he said up top. He told him if he catch COVID-19, he wouldn't be able to shoot the show. So he moved him to a house on the set. But then further down, he says that he moves everybody that was part of the cast moved on set. So I guess, you know what I think? I'm thinking that they are hoping that he just pays and that's it. That's what I'm thinking. What time is it? Oh yeah, I got it. Change it. Perry was going to film the shootout early so that the actors would be more submissive to Perry's request. Perry intentionally made these comments to instill fear in Dixon. Mr. Dixon now knew that he too would lose his job if Dixon did not play ball with Perry's actual harassment. This is what Perry had been setting up. Dixon was now fully reliant on Perry for his income, hope, and future aspirations. Perry made it clear that Dixon was not to disclose the relationship to anyone else, and Dixon was aware that Tyler Perry would unalive him off the show for good, thereby ending his career if Dixon got on Perry's bad side. To top it all off, Dixon already knew that his character was pow pow 4 times at the end of the seasons, but that the pow pows might not be fatal. In July of 2020, Perry read the script of Dixon's pilot and told Dixon that he loved the show so much he wanted to shoot the pilot for it. Dixon's pilot. Okay, so Dixon did not know that Perry never intended on shooting the show. Perry knew that he could use the motivation of shooting Mr. Dixon's show to get Dixon to do what Dixon had been resisting for many months, which was to give Perry the actual gratification Perry so craved. Once the stage was set, Perry knew he could get away with actual harassment. During the filming of The Oval in 2020, Perry engaged in a severe, pervasive tirade of actual commentary, including but not limited to that Dixon liked being choked, following Dixon's being choked by a cast member in one scene on The Oval. Why do you twist your hips when you walk? How can I get a day of Dixon? When will you be thick again? I love how I feel right now, but I don't like being orny. I feel sorry for the first person who flirts with me. I've been trying to put that energy somewhere else, but everything is actual on this stuff. That snake across the table made me think of the video for Nicki Minaj's song Anaconda, in which she references relations with the male symbolized by a snake. Child, y'all, this. I don't. For always, right about now, I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced. I never watched the show. I haven't watched anything since Tyler Perry's. I think it is Why Did I Get Married, where she pushed the guy into the her ex-husband into the pool. I haven't watched anything Tyler Perry since then. I'm not a big Tyler Perry fan, but I'm not going to read this and not point out like this is not. We've heard rumors, but I thought that his text messages was going to blow it out the water. It's not. It's not what he's saying. It's not enough context. They need to submit all of the communications between the two of them. So I will gladly. He says choke you right now. I know that he was in the Oval. He was he was choked as part of his character. A suggestion that Dixon should get braces behind his teeth, but that the plaintiff would have to give up BJ's, and that it could be dangerous for Dixon's partner. especially if they're not circumcised. Child, that's when you were thick Derek, fun Derek, drunk Derek, before COVID Derek. I miss him, just without a butt. And Vic Derek would have worked them pants out. Perry also photographed Dixon's buttocks while on set and sending the pictures to Dixon. Two text messages of many show that Perry was jealous of seeing Dixon with other men, and that Perry described Dixon as so beautiful. Why did that photo make me jealous, you two together? Oh, this may be something. Haha, I don't know. It's just Brad. Laugh out loud. Laugh out loud. He just wanted to go for a quick walk to get his steps in, and now I'm walking to Chipotle by myself. Dick Derek, get that Chipotle. Haha, can you tell from that photo? No, I can't. Only from your jeans. Uh-oh. Haha, that's how I measure too. If I'm not filling them out, I'm not working hard enough, right? To make men swoon. I'm reading way down here where they cut it off at. In your mind soon. Well, it's not this person, but yes, I want that. I'm working on it. Therapy is helping. They already put these text messages up on top. No, not that person. Laugh out loud. Just saying it, laugh out loud. I feel sorry for the person that you choose. See, it seems like they're talking about somebody else. He says, and I won't even take an aspirin from someone anymore. Ha ha ha. I would cry if that wasn't so funny. Why? What I mean by that is that you're so beautiful. When you finally are able to unlock your mind, you're going to make that person crazy. So you see how sometimes the messages are blue, black, and then sometimes they're gray. If you have your phone set to a dark theme, the messages will always come on a black background. If you have it set to the light theme, it will always come on the light with the light background. So these messages were mixed in the messages that were up top. But they're showing more of the message and the context still doesn't make sense. There is a lot of, on the show, a lot of, this series of comments and other unwanted actual references made Dixon highly uncomfortable. Dixon was caught in a bind. He could not complain to anyone in HR. He had nowhere to turn for relief from the actual harassment, and he knew that if he did not endure it, he would be unallowed off from the Oval. Dixon was unsure whether to joke back or rebuff Perry's actual harassment, so he endured it knowing that his job was on the line if he did not engage. Perry would also share intimate details of his own ex-life with Dixon. Among other things, Perry would tell Dixon that he had not had good ex since he became rich, and that there were certain times where he had not been touched in months. On the second to last day of shooting for The Oval, Dixon filmed the episode where his character was pow pow 4 times, indicating a seeming end to his role on the show and his termination from the job. It says here, right, and we just had a heaping dose of it, and now it's back to nothing. It's really weird. But who is he talking about? I didn't have any contact. What are you talking about? I haven't been touched in months. Oh, you mean touching? I thought you meant being around people. You see that? Jacob. So he puts a name here. I love that you only say that when I'm being stupid. Laugh out loud. I guess the Jacob's dumb ass version of me. Not dumb ass, but blonde. So Tyler Perry says, I didn't have any contact. What are you talking about? I haven't been touched in months. He said, oh, you mean touching? I thought you meant being around people. And he said, Jacob. He says, I love that you only say that when I'm being stupid. Laugh out loud. He said, I guess the Jacob's dumbass version of me. Not dumb ass, but blonde. I don't. Okay, I'm confused. It was precisely following this day of filming when Tyler Perry knew that Dixon's character's fate was to be decided that Perry invited Dixon to his trailer for drinks. Dixon knew that refusing meant the end of his career, so he accepted. It was there on the very same day that Perry dialed up the harassment to a new level. Tyler Perry asked Derek Dixon point blank, "Are you attracted to me?" and demanded that Dixon answer. Plaintiff reiterated the same way he did after the first assault by skirting the question. Dixon told Perry that Dixon wasn't that sexual or looking for anything. Perry's incessant probing did not stop. Perry continued to talk about how good looking and exy Dixon was and that plaintiff was wasting his looks by not being free and having X. Dixon repeatedly deflected these comments with neutral answers, constantly looking for ways to avoid Tyler Perry's actual interrogation while continuing to worry about his future on the Oval. Mr. Perry was testing how far he could go with Dixon. After enduring the harassment and doing his best to dodge the situation, Mr. Dixon got up and the two exchanged goodbyes. As Dixon was leaving Perry's trailer, Perry got up and pinned Dixon against the wall. Perry began aggressively groping Dixon's buttocks in a sexual motion. Tyler Perry began reaching down towards Dixon's buttocks and groped Dixon's butt in a strong and actual manner that could not have been a mere accident. Dixon stood frozen in horror and could not reciprocate or fight back. All Dixon can do was let his body go cold and limp. Seeing that Dixon had no desire in Perry, Perry told Dixon that he was drunk and asked Dixon to leave the trailer. As soon as Derek Dixon left the trailer following Perry's violent assault, Dixon became severely nauseous and extremely anxious about his job, career, and livelihood. Dixon felt trapped within the confines of the studio's quarantine bubble. There was still another shoot the next day. Dixon called his friend Justin Bryant on the phone and told him everything that happened and was unaware of any human resources representatives to whom he could report the assault. Plaintiff had no one to turn to and nowhere to go to save him from Perry's aggressive sexual harassment and exploitation. Again, he's acting like he used to act like bombs were dumb or earheads. Yeah. So he's trying to make it seem like he was the only one on the studio grounds, and he wasn't. Everyone that was a part of the cast stayed there. If they all were men and gay, I don't know. I've never watched it. For always, you would have to tell me, were they all men on that show, The Oval? I don't know. I never watched it. The next day, Perry acted like nothing happened, and this time he did not even offer Mr. Dixon an apology. Following this exchange, Dixon began to avoid Perry as much as possible. However, Dixon still felt the need to answer Perry's incessant text messages, so he changed his approach. Dixon often pretended to be asleep to avoid being harassed by Perry. However, Perry persisted by texting Dixon the following messages. "Are you awake? Stop ignoring me. You are awake. Derek, wake up. I know you're not sleeping and give me attention." He should have just showed these text messages. In or around October of 2020, Perry invited Dixon and other actors from the Oval on a cash trip to Perry's personal island in the Bahamas. Dixon knew, as did everyone else on the show, that declining to go on this trip might cause Perry to erase you from the show. Dixon agreed to go, knowing that the whole cast was going to be there. One night while in the Perry's private island in the Bahamas, the cast was having a party. At the end of the night, Perry told Dixon that he wanted to talk to him. Dixon was caught off guard. Perry made alcoholic drinks and forced Dixon to drink with him. Dixon knew that he could not refuse the drinks, otherwise he would risk upsetting Mr. Perry. Instead, Dixon tried to stay in control and sip drinks slowly. Tyler Perry did not control himself. He drank until it was clear that the alcohol had made him bold and actually aggressive. Perry told Dixon that he wanted a relationship with someone who could be emotionally and actually available to him, but would also be permissive of Perry having his own relationship with someone else. Perry said he could see himself having that type of relationship with Dixon. Perry insisted that Dixon needed to be with someone rich because Dixon liked nice things. Perry told Dixon that he was watching all the cast as they laid out in the sun with tanning oil. Perry continued raving about how seeing Dixon greased up like that was driving him crazy. Tyler Perry said he would have burnt the whole island down if one of the other actors or anyone else from the group had touched Dixon that night. At that point, he once again aggressively seized Dixon and groped his buttocks. Dixon once again did not reciprocate and froze up. Perry got the message and told Dixon to go to bed. Dixon was terrified and could barely sleep. Nice picture. Yeah, the water does look calm. Nice picture. Great, amazing, awesome picture. You don't see that stud in that nice picture. Rude. Laugh out loud. Yes, that's a stud. He said asshole. He called him an a-hole. From that moment on, Perry became extremely frustrated and possessive. Perry wanted desperately for Dixon to be attracted to him, but Dixon was not. In one exchange, Perry sent pictures of himself from the Bahamas to Dixon. Dixon responded that the water looked nice. Perry got upset that Dixon did not see the stud in the picture and instead focused on the water. Perry called Dixon an a-hole for laughing out loud at Perry's desire for Dixon to call him a stud. On or around October 18, 2020, and following Dixon's return from the Bahamas, Perry told Dixon that he was jealous that Dixon was giving too much attention to other men. Perry stated that Dixon was being too much of a social butterfly and that he would need Dixon to sit still. This week, further attempting to exercise his influence over Dixon's interaction with other men, Perry continued to wield his position as Dixon's boss, demanding actual attention in exchange for his continued employment. These text messages were followed by others to Dixon like Derek. Don't you dare ignore me. I deserve better. I deserve attention all the time. Dixon, out of fear for the unknown future of his career, continued to give Perry the social attention he demanded, even though Dixon would constantly get actually harassed. On several occasions, Perry would text Dixon while drunk. In one exchange, Perry told Dixon, "You know what I cook?" Derek, and then proceeds to say, "I'm so drunk," talking ish. In December of 2020, Dixon began feeling depleted due to Perry's continued pattern of sexual harassment. The assaults and harassment began manifesting in his physical health, and Mr. Dixon had no one to turn to. Dixon visited a physician who indicated that Dixon exhibited severe symptoms of acute stress, insomnia, stomach issues, and dangerously low cortisol levels due to the actual harassment and assault. The physician prescribed Zoloft, an antidepressant, for Dixon's ailment. So he said, "You know what I cook, Derek?" He said, "Spaghetti cake, you. I'm so drunk talking ish." Now this right here could be something. He cooked him, I guess. The actual harassment continued through the beginning of 2021. Perry continued sending Dixon unsolicited photos of Dixon's body from the set of the Oval, with comments such as, "Oh my God, look at thick, Derek, thick. No, the weight difference, I can do see it. Thick Derek. Okay, good. Nope, I can't deal with this, Derek." Laugh out loud. What's it going to take for you to have guiltless ex? Have you found that yet in therapy? This is the third time that they've entered that into this lawsuit. I just want y'all to know. I know I need to smell the roses more. You are the rose, but you are so blocked that you refuse to be smelt or opened. That is sweet, and I'm working on it. Hashtag therapy. I'm really scared that I'm going to waste my life worrying. Been there. Stopped somewhere in my late 30s, early 40s. So this is not. It sounds like they were having questions. Something is going on with Derek. Where he's having issues and he's having a block. This is what I'm getting from everything that I'm reading, and that he's confiding in Tyler Perry. Now, the other message up top could be a little something. Okay, but this is I'm really scared that I'm worrying, that I'm going to waste my life worrying. That don't sound like, even if you're trying to hold him at bay, that doesn't sound like the type of conversation that you would be having. It seems like he's having a conversation about something that happened in his life and something else. But you know that if this lawsuit, if Tyler Perry doesn't bite on this lawsuit, they're going to extract his full phone. They're going to get his phone records from the phone company. So I hope he knows, and his attorney should already know, that you cannot erase information from the phone company altogether. We need more context. When you finally are able to unlock your mind, you're going to make that person crazy, crazy in a good way. Have you been intimate with someone? Why did that photo of plaintiff and another cast member make me jealous? You two together. How many times he gonna say this throughout this lawsuit? Dick Derek, get that Chipotle. No, I can't. Only from your jeans. Derek is there to make men swoon. What I mean by that is that you're so beautiful. When you finally are able to unlock your mind, you're going to make that person crazy. Crazy in a good way. Dixon responded, as long as my face doesn't get messed up, as long as it doesn't leave a mark. And Tyler Perry responded, what will leave a mark, Derek? Say it. On your neck? What do you mean? You haven't? Have you been intimate with someone? Yeah, this is just not. This attorney is just throwing everything all into this. I can't wait to get that phone call from you when you tell me you let go and you loved every minute of it. So why would he be calling him to let him know that he let go? If it's him, we just need to just go on to court. We just need to go to court because right now this is just not making sense. No straight man would be going on walks with you or cooking dinner for you unless they wanted to F you. I would F you. Ooh, what are you doing hanging out with that girlfriend of yours? She wants you to. She wants you too. Everyone wants to F Jacob. Referring to Dixon's character in the pilot of Losing It. So Jacob is his character. And the pilot that he's saying that Tyler Perry is refusing to shoot. Sounds like the Busby guy attorney. It's not him, it's another one. Jonathan Delshad. Okay, so it says after several weeks of unreciprocated actual innuendos and demands for attention, Perry lashed out at Dixon on set and asked him if he needed to punch Dixon in the stomach, for Dixon to act the way Perry envisioned in a scene. This exchange was highly tense, and Perry's reaction stunned several cast members. Actors on set consoled Dixon for the abrasive interaction, confused as to why Perry overreacted in such a manner, but Dixon knew that Perry was lashing out due to his frustration at the lack of attention Dixon was giving him. On or around June 4th of 2021, Perry invited Dixon to his house to spend some time together and discuss the pilot of Losing It. Although Dixon hesitated, he feared the consequences of disappointing Perry and believed once Losing It was a big show, he would be freed from under the clutches of Perry. During this visit, Perry made several alcoholic beverages for himself and demanded to know why Dixon was not having sex with anyone. Perry probed further about Dixon's ex life, insisting that the two were becoming increasingly drunk and it was time to end the night. So Perry then led Dixon to a guest house where a guest bedroom was. Dixon would be staying there that night. Inside the guest bedroom, Perry motioned to Dixon to come see a weight monitor that he had. Perry told Dixon that for the monitor to work, Dixon would need to step on the monitor wearing only his underwear and push Dixon to try it out. Dixon tried to avoid the uncomfortable situation, but decided it was better to comply and hurry to bed than to wait for the alternative at that point. After weighing himself, Dixon walked toward the guest bedroom, followed by Perry, who then asked Dixon for a good night hug. Rather than arguing, Dixon complied, at which point Perry reached out and yanked Dixon's underwear down from behind. Perry then began to vigorously grab, grope, and play with Dixon's buttocks in an actual manner. Dixon was bare-bodied, stunned, and seized by tremendous fear. Dixon started to tell Perry that he did not want his underwear down, that Dixon didn't want to be unclothed, naked, I guess, and that Dixon didn't want this. Dixon quickly reached to pull his underwear back up. As soon as he did, Perry grabbed Dixon's reaching arm with a tight grip and held fast. Tyler Perry told Derek Dixon to relax and to just let it happen, and that Perry wasn't going to hurt. Perry continued to actually grope Dixon's buttocks. Dixon's anxiety rapidly escalated, thinking that he might soon be great. Dixon was not sure what to do when his breath shortened. Perry ignored Dixon's refusals and held Dixon's hand fast, preventing him from reaching for his underwear. Dixon was naked and being groped by a large, drunk, and actually frustrated 6'5" man who had Dixon in his clutches. Dixon did not know if he was going to have to get into a physical fight, but he knew that any efforts to fight back were hopeless. Perry had armed security at his gate, was much larger than Dixon, and told Dixon that he had several guns in his home. Dixon was desperate for a way out and remarked that he couldn't do anything extra because he was so hungry. Attempting to change the conversation, Dixon asked, "Is there any food up here?" which prompted Perry to withdraw and order a pizza. Really? So, sounds like what Christian Key said in his lives. Oh, maybe it's some truth to it. I didn't follow that either, but this and that. So he ordered a pizza. Dixon, in fear of his safety, followed Perry into the main house to eat the pizza. Afterwards, Dixon returned to the guest house and, unable to lock the bedroom door, locked himself in the guest house bathroom and slept on the floor. Dixon then attempted to contact some close friends about the incident. The following morning, Dixon realized that he had left his car keys in the main house, and upon going to retrieve them, encountered Perry. Perry told Dixon that last night's incident was why the two shouldn't drink together, and that the previous night's incident shouldn't have happened. Dixon responded saying, "Oh, so that was my fault?" To which Perry replied, "No, no, no. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying that shouldn't have happened and I drank too much." Attempting to excuse himself for grabbing Dixon's buttocks, groping Dixon, and attempting to have sex with Dixon against his will. At this point, Dixon left Perry's home, uncontrollably shaken, and contacted his close friend to discuss the unspeakable horror from the night before. For the next several days until June 6, 2021, Perry texted and called Dixon incessantly with messages asking Dixon to call him or answer his calls. Finally, Dixon answered, and at which point Perry began to apologize, blaming the testosterone supplements he was taking at the time. Perry had confided in Dixon about these supplements in past messages and decided to use them as a scapegoat for his actions. Let's read the text messages. How do they make money then? Subscriptions. Subscriptions? They make money from the advertising, lots of money. I love how I feel right now, but I don't like being orny. Testosterone. Oh yeah, from the doctor, but it is making you feel better. I feel so good, but I don't like being orny. I feel sorry for the first person that flirts with me. Laugh out loud. You don't even understand. See, it's the message. I don't know. Okay. um um Where were we at? Self. Okay. Dixon emphasized that he was not okay with what happened and that he had never asked Perry for anything, to which Perry replied, "I know, that's why I like you." Perry further attempted to rectify his misconduct by inviting Dixon on a yacht trip and telling Dixon that Perry was for sure going to make Dixon's pilot. Dixon realized that Perry was offering to make losing it to effectively silence Dixon. Perry sent a text message trying to arrange for Dixon to come on his yacht with another person so that Dixon would feel more comfortable. Dixon responded that he would not board the yacht and refused Perry's invitation. After Dixon refused to go on the yacht, Perry did not text Dixon for 5 months. Sensing that Dixon was upset, Perry called Dixon once to update him that Perry was looking for a director for the pilot. During this 5 month period, Dixon was regularly in therapy. He suffered from severe depression, anxiety, stomach pains, and nausea, resulting in a new prescription for another antidepressant. Dixon was diagnosed with post traumatic stress disorder, and his therapist recommended that he seek outpatient treatment, costing upwards of $20,000, a price too high for Dixon at that time. During that time, Dixon began speaking with people about the actual assault and was assessing his rights. As soon as Perry realized that Dixon was done talking to him, Dixon got a message from Perry's fixers. Perry's fixers contacted Dixon, indicating Dixon's character in The Over, the one who was Pow Pow, would be returning with a new storyline next season, and Dixon was receiving a graduated raise from $10,000 per episode to $16,000 per episode. That will continue to increase to upwards of $19,000 per episode over the coming seasons. The attorney said that Christmas came early for Dixon because he was doing a good job on The Oval. However, they also told Dixon he was forbidden from letting his castmates know about the raise, because nobody other than him would be receiving a similar pay increase. Lastly, the fixers told Dixon that Perry wanted to buy the right to produce the pilot of Losing It and planned to spend up to $100,000 producing the pilot. Dixon immediately knew why he was getting this raise and why the pilot was being produced. He knew he could keep the money and the job or complain about the actual harassment, but not both. The situation facing Dixon presented a challenging decision that left him unable to take any action or make any decision. The prospect of the actual assault and harassment becoming public and dealing with Perry's highly paid attorneys was daunting. Perry had significant resources, whereas Dixon did not. Dixon's goals of working as an actor and being discovered for his talents might be jeopardized. And what was an extremely difficult decision, Dixon bowed to the pressure and fear of losing his livelihood and the hopes of advancing his career. Dixon decided to return to the set and have his pilot produced. He insisted, however, and decided to put safeguards in place between himself and Perry. In or around November 2021, Dixon returned to shoot The Oval. It was then when he saw Perry for the first time in person since the June 21st, 2021. Since the June 2021 actual assault, Dixon suffered a panic attack in his trailer, prompting another actor to calm Dixon down. Seeing that Dixon was still upset, Perry knew that he had to up the ante. To ensure Dixon's silence, Perry began periodically texting plaintiff regarding the production of the pilot of Losing It to string Dixon along. Soon after, Dixon received a call from a member of Perry's production team telling him that they were considering shooting Dixon's pilot in the coming fall of 2021. Dixon was desperate for this good news, given the uncertainty surrounding his finances and concern about his future. On or around March 4th of 2022, Dixon signed the literary purchase agreement for the pilot, giving the rights for the series to defendant TPS. Dixon was unaware of TPS's pre-existing television contracts with Viacom CBS, now known as Paramount Global, which would later prevent the sale of Dixon's show to any media outlets or streaming services for 2 years. On or around March 21st, 2022, shortly after seeing each other on the set of The Oval, Dixon and Perry began shooting the pilot. Perry called Dixon following the shoot, telling him that the show would net $2 to $3 million per episode and run for 2 seasons, guaranteed. Perry purchased the rights to Losing It from Dixon, but did not try to sell it to any network. In fact, Perry was under contract with Viacom CBS, preventing him from selling Dixon's show for an additional 2 years following the purchase. In other words, Perry spent money shooting a pilot for a show and then purchasing the rights to it, knowing that Perry could not sell the show for 2 years. Clearly, this was done for the ulterior motive of silencing Mr. Dixon. As it turns out, Perry had no intention of ever producing Losing It. Perry never made any effort to sell the show or shop it. Perry was only using the show as a quid pro quo to Dixon, holding his production over Dixon's head like the sword of Damocles. On or around April 9th of 2022, to his surprise, plaintiff received the script for another season of The Oval, in which plaintiff's character, originally written as a grocery store clerk, will play a male prostitute, being pursued by a pimp. This character scene and story shared eerie similarities to Perry's pursuit of Dixon. While it was not surprising that one of Perry's characters would end up this way, the timing of change to Dixon was a very clear message. As Dixon continued to read through his scripts, he started to notice that Perry included lines taken directly from things that Perry and Dixon spoke about. Perry started to base the script on real life and made it personal. For example, Perry wrote about Dixon that I don't like none of my biatches running away. He was making good money for me. In or around April 2022, before beginning to shoot the next season of The Oval, Perry called Dixon to discuss a June 2021 actual assault. On the phone call, Perry lectured Dixon about how Dixon was overacting to the actual assault because of prior actual assaults in Dixon's life. I already had picked up on that this guy, he was essayed before, and it seemed like he told Tyler Perry about it. And Tyler Perry may have shared the fact that he was too. And you know that Tyler Perry began to heal around the time he was 30 or 40 and didn't care what people think. I wonder if that's why TP left OWN Network and out of nowhere to BET. Interesting. Perry said that there was a misunderstanding and miscommunication and that Dixon needed to say no stronger. In other words, Perry blamed Dixon for actual assault, claiming that Perry felt that Dixon's no was really a yes, because if he put this god dag on, this attorney is POing me. Now he pissed me off. Because here he go with his same text message. All right, so no was really a yes because Dixon did not say no strongly enough. So as not to jeopardize his employment with defendants Perry and TPS, Dixon dismissed the conversation, especially due to the allegedly impending sale of his show to a major broadcasting company. Did you find a place? I'm good. Probably won't see me. I'll be filming. He puts the sad face. Sorry. You know you can't even see these texts. I did find a place in Santa Monica. Nice Santa Monica. This is what we read above. He said, nice Santa Monica. I'm glad you're going out there. How? Yeah. So why did they put these things in here again? And look how blurry it is. This is the same text message from up top. Y'all, see, this is why I can't deal with, like, some people have made claims against this man, but do it in a way, be truthful about it. The text messages don't match what the attorney is saying. A lot of it does not, and then a lot of places he's added these text messages more than once, and now it's blurry. Like, listen. But it's the same text message as at the top. So in or around January of 2023, plaintiff indicated that he was moving to Santa Monica. He did so to put some distance between himself and Perry. Tyler Perry replied that he was glad to hear that Dixon was moving away and asked if Dixon's no was stronger before he left. Perry reiterated that Dixon should have a strong no and make it clear when he said no. He didn't say all that. He didn't say it that way. This was Perry's way of once again referring to his June 2021 actual assault of Dixon and making it clear that Perry felt no remorse for assaulting Dixon against Dixon's will. This is not what this is crazy. Dixon remained calm considering these triggering comments because he needed Perry to help him with his dreams of producing a show and because Dixon was still a regular actor on the Oval. Even after Dixon moved to California, the quid pro quo harassment and attempts to cover up the actual assault by promising a show continued. Perry would call Dixon, who felt obligated to pick up Perry's phone calls and respond to text messages. These conversations would often start about work and the men's business relationship, and then transition to further conversations about Dixon's ex-life, adding to Dixon's trauma and forcing him to relive the actual assault. Perry continued to envelop Dixon in this feeling of reliance and justify the actual assault that happened. Perry would call Dixon and say, "You'll understand when you have a hit show." And in the same breath referred to the actual assault by saying, "I'm so glad we're past that." Dixon knew that he had to just hold his tongue because Perry was still employing Dixon. On around October 2023, Tyler Perry finally contacted Dixon indicating that he was going to be finished with his Paramount Global contract in January of 2024 and that he would be able to start working on selling Losing It. Perry was just hoping that the statute of limitations would run on Dixon's actual assault claims before closing the door on Dixon's hope and on the quid pro quo that Perry offered for Dixon's silence. In the same conversation where they are talking about Perry starting to do things with Losing It, Tyler Perry also asked Dixon who he was having sex with. Perry further pushed for details, asking Dixon if he was the giver or the receiver in this scenario, or if plaintiff used protection and PrEP when engaging in actual acts. Perry continued to probe other intimate details about Dixon's ex-life. Perry again told Dixon that Perry wants a partner with whom he could have an emotional and actual relationship, but who goes back to their partner at the end of the day. In December of 2023, Christian Keys, he put his name in here. Christian Keys, another actor who worked for Perry prior to Dixon's employment, posted a video on social media platforms detailing his abusive experience with an anonymous Black Hollywood billionaire, which Dixon pieced together and believes to be Tyler Perry. Dixon heard Mr. Keys' account and saw that Perry had been engaging in the same sexual conduct as other actors. Just like the interactions described by Keys, Perry would get drunk, climb into Dixon's bed, and start fondling Dixon's buttocks. Dixon wanted to share his experiences with the media to prevent other actors from being abused at the hands of Perry. Around this time, Perry called Dixon indicating that he really wanted to find a home for Dixon's television series, again perpetrating the quid pro quo after the actual assault to keep Dixon and his claims at bay. Then in January of 2024, Perry told Dixon to begin working on a pitch deck for investors for the pilot. Despite having 8 episodes written, Perry only produced one, claiming that the president of his company, Michelle Sneed, conveniently misplaced the $1 million that were going to be used for the show. During this time, Perry further solicited Dixon's assistance with other films and projects that Tyler Perry was working on. Once again, Dixon was in a position where he could not say no. So it says, I can call you later or tomorrow sometime. You have a really fresh voice and take on things. I don't know where this is going, but I laugh the entire time. I could see the world and the characters. My exclusivity ends in 30 days. I want to take Losing It out to Amazon or Netflix after that and gauge their interest. But I also want to try and get you with the right people to help you make these shows work. They are not for my audience, but we need to find a home for this stuff. I don't want to miss another Schitt's Creek. You know that Eugene bought that to me first, but I didn't get it. Amon gets here tomorrow, so he's got my full attention. I'll be trapped until the day after Christmas, so let's talk then. Wow, I was worried you'd even like it because it's a weird concept, so thank you. Yes, I remember you telling me. So he told him, well, let's talk about it after Christmas. Like, cause Amon gets here tomorrow. Is that his son for always? Do you know? Um, in or around March of 2024, Tyler Perry indicated to Derek Dixon that the individual who was meant to pitch the pilot became depressed and could no longer pitch the show. This was another excuse for the fact that Perry never liked the show and never intended to sell it. Dixon did not get angry and allowed Perry more time to figure things out for the show, mistakenly sensing that Dixon had forgiven him. Perry started back up with the harassment. Perry continued to harass Dixon, who was still working on the Oval and who was still waiting eagerly for Perry to sell Losing It. Perry would tell Dixon that he loved Dixon, that Dixon should be living his life, and that Dixon should be having Exmoor. Perry even indicated that he would send Dixon's show to Peter Freilander at Netflix. But all of this was just an attempt to remind Dixon of the sword of Damocles hanging over his neck. Later, Perry told Dixon that Netflix. Hold on a minute, y'all. Oh, you just getting here. Later, Perry told Dixon that Netflix turned the show down. Dixon was never contacted by any individuals from Netflix regarding the show, and no sale ever materialized. In or around June of 2024, Perry, sensing that Dixon was getting frustrated about his show not getting off ground and still concerned about the actual assault being made public, offered Dixon a position as a writer on Perry shows, indicating that he needed a replacement to continue writing. It was only then that Dixon woke up and realized that Perry was never going to be serious about helping Dixon. Perry was only going to do things for Dixon if Dixon played along with the actual harassment and assault. Perry was only interested in preventing Dixon from exposing the dark side of Tyler Perry. Perry only cared that people still view him as the victim he once was. Even now, as he took shape as the victimizer, Dixon became sick to his stomach. Rather than continue down this path, Dixon took the heroic step of reporting the actual harassment to the EEOC. After reporting the actual harassment, defendants did not make any investigation into the complaint and did not take any steps to prevent further harassment from occurring. Because defendants took no action to prevent further assault or harassment, Dixon had to quit his job working on the last season of The Oval. Dixon did so even though he was under contract to finish filming and stood to make close to $400,000. Dixon did not want to be actually harassed or be placed in danger of an actual assault again. Defendant then retaliated against Dixon. Defendant told Dixon that if he quit and told the other actors why he quit, he would be in breach of his contract. Defendant told Dixon that the only way out was to portray his departure from the show as a medical leave due to the emotional distress caused by the actual harassment. The leave of absence was to be paid medical leave. Instead, defendant made the leave of absence unpaid and therefore terminated plaintiff's employment, causing Dixon additional loss of income and insult. First cause of action, quid pro quo. Sexual harassment. Plaintiff incorporates by reference and realleges here in each and every one of the. So okay, so he just basically they're talking about here about how the power dynamics basically. He worked for Tyler Perry. Perry was, in control and was coercing him using the show called Losing It, and he knew that he never was going to make it. And so I guess the him verbalizing and I guess grabbing his buttocks is what he is alleging. So there's a lot of laws that go into that power struggle thing. So he's saying he didn't consent. All I'm saying is that whatever the text messages that he's providing as proof, they do not fit. It does not fit the allegations. And it looks like the attorney has inserted his under his he added some things to it. Now I'm not saying that Tyler Perry is didn't do something to this young man. He is innocent until proven guilty if they go into a court of law. To me, it seems like this guy is looking for Tyler to be like, I'm going to just pay this off. I'm not going to go all the way. Okay, so it is his son. So yeah, he got his son. I'm not dealing with you. To my son leave. So it just they're going to have to provide the full context. It already was said that Tyler Perry said he's not worried about these accusations because they're false. I just think that this attorney should have left all the other people out of it in the beginning. Weinstein, Diddy, Bill Cosby, all those people, he should have left out of it. I guess they were acting like the alcohol is. To me, there's some similarities to like some of the things said in the Diddy case, right? But Diddy's case is a case, and so I don't know. I see some similarities to it, and I don't know if they just took a play out of it. I don't know. Hopefully, this young man was not essayed by Tyler Perry, but you can tell by the messages, the text, and everything that he was essayed before by someone else. And so he does mention that. They mention that in this way at the end. So, yes, I believe that is, for always, that is a perfect way to put it. The attorney inserted his legal opinion into the lawsuit. The attorney can't tell. The attorney can't tell Derek what those text messages say and what they mean. And Derek can interpret anything the way he likes. That's why I'm saying we need the full context to really, really see what it is. Because why are you only showing some text messages, but you're not showing them all? And clearly some of that communication was through text messages. So, always stay in this case so the other people's names, are out of it. Right. So the defendants in the other defendants in this case, he is replying to is all of whatever Tyler Perry's companies are named. They mentioned Christian Keys by name, probably hoping that Christian Keys will hop out and jump on this lawsuit. But we already know that Christian Keys, he did not name who the black billionaire was. So, But by a process of elimination, people were able to be like, oh. But the fact that he did not come right out and say who it was, and he never said, people can only speculate because Christian never said that there was any truth to it. So now whether Christian Keys got paid already, we don't know. We don't know. And I don't think Christian Keys ever brought a lawsuit. So if he did, that all of their stuff may be private. This attorney may not even be able to get it. So that's all I'm saying. I just need more context in his text messages. Because the ones that I saw one, and it was only one line of that could be taken out of context and mean something. When he asked him what did he cook, and he said spaghetti and something else, and he said, no, I cooked you. Or it could be a joke. Tyler Perry is a comedian. But all of the rest of the text messages does not fit the narrative. I believe his attorney beefed up what he was saying, and it just ain't. So now your girl got to get ready to go because it's a late day for my mother. So she's out in the morning. She should be pulling up any momento. So thank you for rocking out with me. And I guess Friday we'll see if we will have. Probably did send a demand letter, and probably this guy probably did too. But his text messages don't look like somebody that's uncomfortable and trying to play down something that he's saying. I didn't get that from the text message. I'm just going by the context of the text. I didn't get that. So we need to see all the text messages to determine whether or not this is true or not. Poem, no, thank you for being here and rocking out with me. I truly appreciate it. So, of course, hopefully on Friday, we get Brendan Paul on the stand, because everybody's waiting for this testimony to see what they're going to ask him. And of course, we're not here tomorrow. Yeah, I will definitely tell her that. So we're going to end the show the way I normally do, by bringing awareness that men get breast cancer too. Allie, I know this. Don't even worry about it. I already know about Baby A. It's Baby A for me until I say hello. So we're going to end the show the way we normally do it, by bringing awareness that men get breast cancer too. Because of the stigma surrounding the word breast, we have changed the word to peck and/or chest cancer over here. So let's continue to bring awareness and stop the stigma, and bring awareness that men get breast cancer too. And to all of my ladies, please make sure that you are getting your mammograms, filling on your boobies to make sure that you are all right. And don't you ever dare let anyone come into your house and disrespect the peace that passes all understanding. I'm Survivor Speaks. I'll see you guys in the next live. That'll probably be on Friday, unless I come across something else. I don't know. And have time. Thank y'all for rocking out with me. Peace. Survivor Speaks is the name at the end of the day. People love me or hate me, I don't care either way. Breast cancer busted through like a thief in the night. A cancer's ass was knocked out before the end of the fight. A check for y'all coming through, knocking everything out. It's just hard if you see, I do nothing for clout. Just like cancer, I'll let nothing take me out. So be respectful when you step foot inside of my house. Over here to have your ass escorted on out. So hop up out the bushes, wipe your feet, take a seat, and get comfortable and chill with your girl. Survivor Speaks, yeah. Hey, hey, hey. Who, what? I'm Survivor Speaks. What time is it? What time is it? What time is it? It's time for you to hit that like and subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you get a notification each and every time that I go live. Yeah.